Welcome back, fellers. Uh, that's not right. Yeah. Happy 4th of July. Hope you all kept all your fingers and toes. And I'm back, starting with chapter 8 of Bad Apple. I'm gonna try to get through at least 2 tonight. I was gonna go for 6 last night, but it turns out chapter 7 was ungodly long. So I'll just have to see where we wind up. But without any further ado, I will start the reading. I hope I have people coming in soon to join us. But anything is fine. Chapter 8 is entitled, Find the Way to Change. Hey, so, you remember the donut place you mentioned at the mall? If you're up for it, I was wondering if you'd like to go there Saturday at 12. Anon's question over the phone the other day still causes me to beam with delight. He asked me out on a date. On a date! Me of all people! I know this is our 3rd date together, and a lot has happened since the 2nd one especially. I love you, Anon. For the first time in this world, it feels like I'm not truly alone. For the first time in this world, I truly feel as if I'm not alone. I love you too, Stella. I've never been happier in my entire life than during that moment, that beautiful and tender moment with him. Let me pull it up on my thing so I can read the chats. Hell yeah, brother. Just thinking about the time when he asked me to go out with him today causes butterflies to flutter my stomach, making me feel like I'm floating on a cloud 9, which reminds me, I really have to find a nice outfit to wear. And fast. I've been running in circles around my room for the past 15 minutes looking for the perfect outfit to wear on the date. Where the heck is it? I feel like a chicken with its head cut off, just scrambling around my messy room, trying to find the perfect outfit. The past couple times I've seen him, I've worn nothing but hoodies and graphic tees. Childish crap. I mean, he's never said anything bad about that. He wouldn't be the type of person to judge me for it. After all, he likes anime too. Still, I just want to look the best I can, not just for him, but for myself as well. Despite my determination and presence, I still can't find the outfit I've been dying to wear on our date. That white cotton sweater with the black skirt, it was really cute. It must still be in the wash or something. Stella, tu es prête, ma chérie? C'est presque heure de partir. I heard my mother call from the cracks of my door, reminding me of how little time I've got left. Almost ready, Mom. Just a minute. I call out while trying to mask the desperation in my voice. Of course, my dear. I'll be waiting downstairs when you are ready. I'm barely able to hear the footsteps grow quieter as the sound of the heartbeat begins to drown out any outside noises. Stupid. Come on, Stella. You've had days to prepare for this. Why do you have to ruin it last minute like always? I lash out at myself as my room begins to feel like it's beginning to close in. As if the weight of my failures is pushing it into me. I fall on the floor as I succumb to the storm of negative emotions ravaging my head. This is why no one ever liked you. You're nothing but a lazy, stupid, irresponsible spaz. You can't hold any friendships. You can't step outside without getting scared of a loud pop or toy gun. My breathing becomes rapid as I can feel the tears ready to leave my body, starting to ruin my newly applied makeup. You're never going to be good enough for him, Stella. You're nothing but a disappointment to your crush. My crush, who asked me out. I can feel my breath becoming more and more controlled. Getting to spend this day together with you is the happiest I've been in a long time. Anon's words from our 2nd date emerged from my memories. My crush, who's shown me kindness and understanding, offering companionship in a time when I felt completely alone. I slowly lift myself off the ground, letting out a stifle as I feel my lungs begin to relax, regaining a hold of the situation. Despite having a broken leg and being recently attacked, my crush made the extra effort to come all the way over to my house, all to see if I was okay. A smile forms on my lips, completely replacing the anxiety painted across it just moments ago. Taking a deep breath, I step close to my dresser, my hands reaching out towards the middle right drawer, only to be hit with a wave of surprise. Not at the fact that my Baka outfit isn't where I thought it was, or something silly happened, like my favorite anime DVD just magically appearing in my drawer. But I was able to get myself under control like that. How did I even... I've never been able to do that before. Maybe it... As I try to wrap my brain around it, I shake my head and snap myself out of it. No. We can worry about that later, Stella. Right now I've got to get dressed, and thankfully it's a lot warmer out today. Opening the middle drawer, my eyes spotted the outfit in question, perfectly folded, waiting for such an opportunity. I wonder if Anon will remember it. Au revoir, ma chérie. Message me or your father when it comes time to be picked up. The blonde-haired Stego waving from the passenger window as I close the door. Thank you, Mom. I love you so much. I wave back at her as I watch her smile on her face grow. Drive safe, okay? I will, darling. You and Anon stay safe too, okay? I love you. I love you too. Her smile remains as she turns towards the driver's window, gazing as the passing cars as she's determining when it's safe for her to merge onto the road. Or at least I think that's what she's doing. I kind of forgot all the rules of driving since it's been a year since I last practiced. It would be cool to learn how to drive as well as Mom, though. I could be like Takumi from that one old racing anime, and it... Oh, crap, shit, what was that? The sound of the outside world snaps me out of my trance. I can feel the anxiety inside me rising after being violently pulled away from my thoughts. Deep breath, Stella. You're gonna be okay. We just have to wait for Anon now. Turning away from the city streets, I see the colorfully painted sign in front of a large cafe. Glory Hole Donuts. These are easily the best donuts in all of Volcadera Bluffs. Their selections live up to their names. For sure, Boston cream with vanilla frosting, cinnamon sugar-coated jelly donuts. My god, they've even got creme brulee style donuts, with the real burnt sugar coating serving as a glaze. They're truly a glorious donut shop, although I'm still confused as to why Anon had such a problem with the name. I mean, it's supposed to represent what they serve. However, he didn't say why except when he mumbled something about destroying my innocence. Before I give that more thought, I feel a vibration emerging from my right pocket. That must be him. I reach to grab my phone, lifting my phone close to my eyes. I'm able to confirm my suspicion. Anon, Saturday, 12 p.m. Almost there. Be there in about a minute. Awesome, he's almost here. As I wait for him to arrive, I take a moment to lean against the street pole to my right, my eyes analyzing all the scenery in front of me. Dinos, both young and old, trek alongside the sidewalk, mingling and going about their day as they enjoy their weekend. Some of them enter stores, and others just take a moment to chat with one another as they enjoy the warm weather. I have never seen any of these people before in my life, but just seeing them be able to go out and just enjoy life without a care in the world makes me happy. It makes me hopeful that I can do that one day too. As I analyze the world around me, my eyes take notice of a group of people emerging from a bus that just stopped. I spot the first figure that emerges, or rather waddles from the bus using a pair of crutches. A bald human dressed in a green jacket with blue jeans, his lack of facial features being the most prominent. Anon! I can feel the fluttering of wings in my stomach as the plates on my back switch with delight. I begin to make my way toward my date, eager to be able to see him for the first time in days. Anon, it's so good to see... I stop in place as I take note of his rather grim expression. He's facing my direction, but his eyes seem to fixate on something to his right. I see where his eyes are pointed, only to see nothing but an empty bench. It wasn't until now that I realized what's happening. I felt bad for forgetting. Remembering what he told me about how he's been seeing people. The same people who died a couple months ago, which explains why it looks like he just saw a ghost. Anon, what's wrong? I slowly approach him, as the expression on his face becomes more disturbed. It's me, Stella. Whoa, what? He mutters confusingly, his eyes finally meeting my own. Is everything okay, Anon? My questions caused him to sigh as he adjusted his crutches and pulled himself together. Oh, yeah, sorry about that. I was just, How do I say this without sounding mean? Come on, Stella. Were they visiting you again, Stella? Were they visiting you again? I ask as gently as possible, desperately trying not to come across as callous. Yeah. He looks away for a moment. You idiot! Now you've made him feel bad. Oh, I'm sorry. My eyes face the ground, out of shame for my callous remark. Oh no, don't be at all. Don't be at all. His tone suddenly lights up as I feel a touch on my shoulder. Sorry, it just comes and goes at times. He's not mad at me? I see him sporting a smile as his face on his face as his crutches rest under his free hand, and his other hand trying to hold all his weight on the one crutch. Anyways, you ready to hang out? He's not mad at me? He's not? He's excited, too! Absolutely! I can't wait for you to try it! I beam with delight as my tail coils around my leg. These donuts are to die for! Anon chuckles at my response, seemingly amused by my schoolgirl levels of glee. Sounds good. Let's go check out Glory Hole Donuts. His face slightly cringing after uttering the store's name. Let's see if they're as glorious as you claimed them to be. I giggle in response. Believe me, they are. I like your outfit, by the way. I remember that being one of your favorites back at school. Yes, he noticed. Thank you. I turned my head to see to the side in a poor attempt to hide my blush before facing him again. I was hoping you would. As I finished speaking, the two of us just left smiling at each other wordlessly, as if we'd been placed each other's in chance. Am I supposed to hug or kiss her now or something? Am I supposed to hug or kiss her now or something? He muttered under his breath as the look on his face became more nervous. I can feel my cheeks turn red from his words, or rather, his mumbling. Why does he have to be this cute? I don't know. I reply shyly and yet sweetly. Well, why don't you tell me? And before he's able to react further, I wrap my arms around him as his lips meet my own, melting us away in a sweet embrace, his lips finally fighting back against my own as we lock ourselves into a kiss. After a couple seconds, our lips finally parted, and I can see his eyes widen entirely, and his face growing as red as a cherry. As I analyze his stunned response, I can feel myself begin to get nervous. Oh no, did I come across too strong? Did he not want to kiss just yet? Way to go, Stella. You too, he mutters as a slight smile returns to his lips. My anxiety is now eclipsed by my uncontrollable giggling, laughing at the look on his face. You should see your face. You're just too cute. Cute. Yeah. Anon laughs nervously as he tries to find the right words. Okay, let's go now, yeah? Okay, sounds good. I nod as the two of us begin to walk towards the entrance of Glory Hole Donuts. Thankfully, the bus stop was only about 30 feet from the entrance, so we didn't have to walk that far. I can't imagine it's easy for Anon to walk right now, even with the crutches. As we walk through the entrance, I hold the door open for him, eliciting a smile and a thank you from him as we enter the cafe. And we step through the door, I'm hit with a blast of different sensations. A strong scent of yeast and other sweets invades my nostrils to an absurd degree, as the cacophony of beeping, talking, and other noises in the restaurant makes it difficult for me to hear my own thoughts. My eyes barely catch Anon's concerned look as I gaze across the establishment, noticing how many people are actually here right now, both in line in front of us, and how all the seats are in the cafe. The number of people in such a small space makes my lungs feel smaller and smaller. There's too many people there. No, you're okay, Stella. You're not in any danger. I take a deep breath as my lungs begin to feel normal again. No one's here to get you. Like you and Anon, they're all just trying to enjoy some yummy donuts on a Saturday afternoon. It's all gonna be okay. Taking another deep breath as I continue to reassure myself, I feel myself return to a reality, no longer intimidated by the world around me. You okay, Stella? I turn to see Anon, looking at me with a worry and a degree of surprise. Surprised at my ability to calm myself down like that. Yeah, I'm okay. Sorry about that. I reassure him. Ready to order now? Yeah, let's do it. Anon agrees as he almost trips over his words. The two of us enter the queue as we wait to place our orders. Thankfully, it goes by rather quickly. I always get anxious when the person in front of me always takes too long to order whenever I get takeout. Before long, Anon and I are able to place our orders. I ordered a creme brulee donut and a nice cappuccino. Usually anywhere I would go for something like vanilla iced coffee, but cappuccino's here to die for. I especially love the little hearts they do with the foamed milk, too. And I'll have a coffee with 1 milk and a powdered jelly donut, please. Anon addresses the human cashier in front of us. Just a powdered jelly donut? At a place like this? I suppose the choices here can be a little overwhelming. They certainly were for me the first time I came here. For the longest time, trying new foods was always a challenge for me. Yeah, she's definitely autistic. After Anon finished paying, the cashier politely gave us a sign with number 32 and told us to take a seat at any available table, explaining that we'll bring out the order to our table once ready. Wait, I thought this place was full. I look towards the seating area and find a booth by the window that's completely empty, almost as if it's calling Anon and me towards it. Fate looks kindly upon us today. I take Anon by the hand until I remember he needs both of them to use his crutches. Nice going, Stella. He completely chuckles at my blunder, and I direct him towards the booth as the two of us make our way. Thankfully, it's not too crowded, so neither of us has to squeeze through any crowds, although Anon is moving slower than I, careful not to take the wrong step to fall on the floor. As we reach the table, I motion Anon to take whichever seat he likes more, and he takes the one on the right and carefully lowers himself into the seat as his good leg as he rests the crutches on the side of the booth. I take the seat adjacent to his as we settle in and get comfortable. However, before the two of us acknowledge each other, I notice a strange expression on Anon's face emerging, the same expressions from moments ago outside. Fear, guilt, sorrow, painted across his face clear as day. However, his eyes are fixated on something outside in particular, or someone. I follow where his eyes are pointed, and an anxious feeling coming from my guts emerges as I do. Part of me thought for a second that Trish somehow found us again and was back for revenge. But my fears subsided when I remember the struggles Anon told me he was having. Good tea. All I see when I look outside is the city streets bustling with life, with cars passing through. A sympathetic expression forms on my face as I turn to face Anon. He's been there so much for me. Least I can do is try and do the same for Sim. Anon, is everything okay? Anon steps back to reality, with his words leaving my lips. Once again caught off guard by being ripped from his own little world. Sorry about that. Anon chuckles as he forces a smile. I just thought It's okay, Anon. You don't have to hide anything. I'm here for you. I gently ask as I reach across the table, taking hold of his hand. Was it someone you knew? The false sense of nonchalance quickly fades from Anon, his shoulder drooping slightly after being caught in his white lie. He sighed with dejection. It was Nazer. I can't imagine how horrible that must be for him to constantly be attacked by spirits of the dead, judging and tormenting him for someone else's actions. If you feel comfortable, do you want to talk about it? I gently ask. The somber human lowers his head, trying to muster up the strength to open up about the struggles that have been eating him up. The bags under his eyes seem less noticeable, but I can still sense a tremendous amount of turmoil remains. Anon's head rises as he clears his throat, preparing to speak. I've been struggling a bit with the past few days with, everything. What do you mean? I ask. After your father dropped me off, I received a visit from an old acquaintance, Mo. The owner of Dynamos? What would he want with Anon? Mo came to your door? Yeah, he told me that he was the one who ordered Trish to kick my ass, but only because he was forced to do so by Ripley, Fang and Nacer's dad. Anon begins to fidget with my hands as he tries to find the right words. Turns out Trish was put in jail after he attacked us both, and Mo wanted to see if he could make peace between Ripley and me, but when we got there, he didn't do anything to me. He didn't want anything to do with me. He even told me that his Anon's eyes suddenly widened as he stops mid-sentence, followed by the sense of sorrow, as if what he was about to say next was too painful to recall. It's okay, Anon. You don't have to say anything if you don't want to. I gently pat his hand as our eyes make contact. But after that night, my visitors, shall we say, have been acting differently. Differently? In what way? I asked, trying to understand his description. Anon broke our eye contact as he gazed out the window. Usually when they appear, they usually remind me of how I fucked up, of how I've hurt people. A frown forms my lips. It hurts me to see Anon think like that. It wasn't his fault, none of it was. But this past week, they've changed. They seem almost depressed. Depressed? What do you mean? I asked him to elaborate. Well, normally they would follow me and talk shit to me, but now they're just sad. Sometimes they'll appear and lament their shortcomings. Other times I've seen them in tears, crying about what happened, or like now when Nacer. His lips tightened, discomfort growing out of his face like he was taking a bite of a sour lemon. He was begging me to, desperately crying me to save his sister. Goodness, that must feel terrible for anyone to go through. Being tormented by the pleas of lost souls despite knowing that there's nothing else you could do. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. That sounds horrible. I console him, trying to prevent the tears from escaping my eye. Thank Thanks, Stella. He somberly nods before noticing my reaction to his revelation. What? Wait, Stella? Are you crying? Way to go, Stella. Now you're doing it in public again. Oh no, sorry about that, it's... I try to deflect, only be interrupted by the tray of baked goods and beverages being placed in front of us. Here you go. Sorry about the wait. The human server addressed us with a smile. I hope you do enjoy. Thank you, we will. I smile back at her as she returns to the front counter, preparing for the next horde of customers. I bring my attention back to the tray in front of us containing our order. On my side of the tray lies a plate with a beautifully crafted creme brulee donut. Totemo oishii! I take a moment to admire its perfection. The burnt, hardened sugar glazed across the top of the pastry, covering the custard-filled, yeasty goodness as in a caramelized blanket of heaven. I can feel my mouth watering at just the sight of it. To the left of my plate, I notice the steaming radiating from the mug as if it's beckoning to me. My eyes spot the brown-colored foam bubbling to the surface as the white-colored heart floats above the surface. I will never understand how baristas are able to pull that off, even with my knack for art. Curious to see how Anand's order turned out, I moved my eyes to see the golden bun on his plate, powdered sugar covering the top of the jelly donut, of the red jelly dripped out ever so slightly out of the side. I look up to see Anand entirely in awe of his donut, his eyes focused on it as like he's been entranced by someone dangling a pocket watch in front of his eyes. These look incredible. A giggle escaped my mouth after Anand mumbled his first impressions of the donuts. He took the words right out of my mouth. I told you, didn't I? I stick my tongue out at him, playful. Anand's saddened expression is now replaced with playful annoyance as he lets out a sigh. I said that out loud, didn't I? Amidst the giggling, I nod at him as he sighs again. I can hear him chuckle as he mutters, "Of course," under his breath. This is probably the first time a donut has gotten me out of an awkward explanation. Our table is silent for the next 3 minutes as we enjoy the delectable culinary perfections in front of us. After my final bite, I stared longingly at the white plate in front of me, continuing nothing but a few specks of glaze and crumbs. All I can do is mimic Anon's words in my head. That was absolutely incredible. The glaze's crunchy and sticky texture and soft, squishy yeast made my taste buds the happiest they've been in all month. I took a moment to savor every bite I could, but now I wish I got 2 donuts. Anand, on the other hand, gobbled his donut almost instantly. He must have really liked it. Although I remember how quickly he ate his Chinese food when he stayed for dinner the other night, we were a bit worried that Anand might not have enough to eat at home. After we finished our donuts, I began telling him how I've been preparing for the winter solstice and explaining its connection to astrology and the effects on our spirits. I don't think he really knew what I was talking about. I'm happy that he was still listening to what I have to say. He's asking questions about it. So because the night is longer, certain zodiacs are more impacted by the winter solstice than others, right? He never seemed to take interest in astrology before, but I'm glad I may have been able to help him open his soul to the wonders beyond. Not long after that, Anand asked me about Rosa and if I was still mad at her. I remember Anand telling me over the text that they met in the park. At first I was really worried because I thought he... Thankfully it wasn't. Apparently after we got home from the mall, Rosa got really mad at Anand and blew up on him outside my house. But Rosa calls him to the park to apologize for her actions. She even opened up to him about her dad. I still remember how much I cried for the first time she told me the story of what happened. I couldn't even imagine losing either of my parents. Oh, tired eyes. But I could never stay mad at Rosa. It was definitely frustrated me how she and my parents were monitoring my every move, treating me like a child that needed supervision. It made me feel like such a burden. But I understand why they did it. Why both of them did it. They wanted just to protect me. If anything, I should apologize. I wanted to call her yesterday, tell her I'm sorry for how I acted and how I'm not mad at her for spying on me. She's my sister. And if there's nothing she can do to ever change that. But still I couldn't bring myself to do it. Not yet, at least. What do I even say? How will she react to me calling her? Did I ruin things between us? How do I... Stella? A masculine voice calls out, pulling me away from my thoughts. Are you doing okay? You seem a little quiet. I turned to the waking world as I acknowledged the concerned human boy awaiting my response. Oh yeah, sorry about that. I got a little distracted is all. I try to play it off. I don't want to ruin our date. Not again. Are you sure? You can talk to me, Stella. Now I reached for my hands, caressing my skills with his smooth skin. If it's too overwhelming in here with all the people and shit, we can step outside. It's no trouble at all. He thinks I'm having another panic attack? I guess it makes sense how quiet I've been. But aside from earlier, I've actually been pretty calm. I'm actually surprised how quickly I got myself back together, both here and back at my house. Stella? Right, he's waiting for me to say something. Yeah, I'd like that. I nod to him as a smile grows on his face. There's a lot of cool spots we can check out in this part of town. Anon shuffles out of the booth, grabbing his crutches while trying to balance on one foot. Perfect. Sounds like a plan. Following pursuit, I rise from the booth as I check my pockets to make sure I'm not leaving anything behind. Phone, wallet, keys, cards, all there. Without further delay, and on I walk out of the cafe and enjoy the city streets. Let me grab my snack plate and bring it closer. For the next little while, Anon and I began to explore the city as we enjoyed our date together. Roaming the streets of Volcadera Bluffs, as we visited all the cool stores our eyes came across without any goal other than enjoying each other's company. And of course, after scoring a couple pretty nice feelings from the shop we found, we scrambled upon the store called One Up Gaming that had all sorts of video games ranging from modern to retro. The oldest system I ever owned was a Packy Station 2, so I thought it was so cool to see what types of games we could find that were around back in the day. As much as I was enjoying myself, Anon was in heaven. Contrasting the last soul I saw almost a month ago, I can now see a kid in a candy store as he bounced from shelf to shelf, eager to see all the glorious and awesome games from before his eyes. And it wasn't just video games they had there. They had books, anime, and even those cool space tabletop games with figurines he put together. Needless to say, Anon and I both left the store with bags in our hand. I managed to find a pretty good deal for a game I wanted to try for a while called Pakimata, or FAR Pakimata. A cute white Sailor Moon t-shirt, and even a plushie for Ghibli since I know he loves cuddling up with those things. I not only bought one thing here, but I was pretty happy as the cashier was helping with his purchase. I think he got that new Rock Ring Eternal game for X-Rocks. I'm not too familiar with X-Rocks or Rock Ring. I've never really been much of an FPS kind of girl, but I've heard a lot about it. I'll have to ask him more about it at some point. Tea biscuits. Sorry. I pretty much know all the stores in this part of town. They got pet shops, clothing shops, bookstores, convenience stores, and other cafes. They even got a shop dedicated to occultism called Heart of Arcana. It's been forever since I went. I wonder what kinds of new things they got in stock. Some new instants, new constellation guides, or maybe even... Hey, are you okay there, Stella? Anon's amused questioning pulls me away from my own little world. I turn to my right to see him smiling at me, the same kind of smile someone would give if they saw their adorable little puppy. You seem pretty excited. Guess it's been a while since you've been to this Arcana Heart, huh? The bald human inquired, still with a grin on his face. Reminded her to show him pictures of Ghibli as a puppy. It's called Heart of Arcana, not Arcana Arts. I correct him to see his eyes widen a little bit. Did I come across too strong? Sorry, I didn't mean to blow up. The smile returns to Anon's face as he shrugs his shoulders. Hey, don't apologize, I get it. Plus, it does seem like a pretty cool store right up your alley, too. Yeah, I shyly respond before enthusiasm returns to my voice. But you're right, it's been a while since I've been there. I've done most of my astrology shopping online. Anon gives me a sympathetic look, as he knows exactly why I prefer to shop online. Yeah, it's completely understandable, don't worry. Oh no, I didn't make him sad, did I? Come on, Stella. It's okay, though. It's been a long time since I've been. I'm excited to see what kind of new stuff they've got. I smile at him as I express my anticipation. My enthusiasm elicits a happy chuckle from Anon. That's good to hear. Hopefully they got some good stuff. With our resolve strengthened, the two of us make our way across the street towards the building. As the sign becomes more visible, the words Hearts of Arcana are written in some ashen white in front of us as our eyes sit on the O on the inside title. Or as the white font, as the I sits inside an O on the title, as a pentagram symbol rests above the title. I'm really glad Rose isn't here to see me go into the store right now. The two of us enter the building, and our eyes are greeted at the sight of, good heavens! This is the best store ever! They've got everything here. Crystals, tarot cards, occult-themed artwork. They even have spell books, too. I'm so excited. Holy shit! This store is awesome. Wait, did he? I look towards Anon to see him briefly admiring the store's beauty before he notices me, his face turning bright red as embarrassment grew like a balloon. I mumbled that, didn't I? I can't help but giggle, despite how happy I am to hear those newfound interest in the mystical arts. No, you said that out loud. My confirmation caused Xanon to sigh as his spaghetti has been thoroughly spilled. I hope I'm using the phrase right. I remember hearing it a couple times from my pen pal that I used to write from on these message on those anime forums. I haven't heard from him in a while. I hope he's doing okay. I look around the store with schoolgirl glee, appreciating the lovely collection of tarot cards rested upon the display cases, the shelves lined with various crystals ranging from fluorite to obsidian. I have no idea what I want to get. I almost spot the most captivating relic that reside in the store. My feet drag themselves to the display cabinet as if I'm a puppet controlled by an unknown force. Coming face to face with my quarry, I'm able to get a better view of this beautiful item. In front of me laid a beautiful crystal ball that glowed with a purple hue as it rested on a maroon wooden stand. Silver accents lined around the stand, of all zodiacs circled around it, as if the very stars themselves powered it. After admiring its beautiful features, my eye takes notice of the price underneath the display case. Only $29.99 for a crystal ball as magnificent as this? That's an absolute steal. Of course I'm gonna... Wait a minute. Mom gave me about $70, and I've spent $61 already. I know it's too good to be true. A sad sigh escapes my mouth as I limit my decision to splurge on video game store rather than save it for here. I mean, I didn't know what there was going to be, but still. Anon seems to take notice of my melancholic aura and reproaches me with a concerned look in his eye. Hey, Stella, is everything okay? You seem a little bummed out. Yeah, I just saw something really cool here. I didn't realize I had $9 left. Oh, that sucks. Anon sympathized with the aura of light stoicism. What were you looking at? I sadly point my eyes towards the display case, directing Anon's attention to the radiant glass orbs. She wants the big ball. I can feel my cheeks turn red in embarrassment, annoyed at Anon's rather childish joke about my predicament. Well, hey, what's wrong with wanting such a beautiful piece of art? I've always wanted an orb as beautiful as this one. I pout in protest, causing his face to match the hue of red in my face. Damn, this is doing numbers. Merde, you didn't mean to say that. Oh shit, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. I was just joking, shit, I didn't mean to. He trails off as his word stares at the ground in shame. How much is it? Oh, the sign says it's about $29.99, but it's probably going to be around $32 after tax. And you said you only have $9 left? A gentle smile forms on Anon's lips. Tell you what, how about I lend you $23 so you can get it? He's offering to help me buy it? I can feel my body floating as I swell with joy at Anon's offer. So what do you say? Before Anon can finish his question, my arms wrap around his chest and my tail coils around his waist, pulling him into a tight hug while I giggle with glee. Thank you, thank you, thank you, you're the best! I repeat, not caring how much of a scene I'm making at the store. Of course, no problem at all. He smiles as he gazes into my eyes, his expression succumbing to my infectious happiness. Those eyes, it's like they're compelling me to fall forward like magnet steel. Who am I to deny that? I close my eyes as my lips sweetly meet his own. Who the fuck is emotion reacting? What the hell? We stay here for a couple seconds, yet it feels like an eternity until Anon is the first to pull away. His usually pale skin now resembles that of a strawberry. Hi there, can I help you too? A voice interrupts the silence for our moment of silence, pulling us back to reality. Oh no, we've made things awkward, haven't we? Our eyes meet the Triceratops employee to our left. He's standing there with an uncomfortable smile as he waits our response. Anon is the first to speak, his cheeks still rosy. Oh shit, sorry about that. We were wondering if we could buy that purple crystal orb right there. The flustered human asks as he points towards the display case. Yeah, of course. The cashier nods with his smile as he pulls out his set of keys. Yeah, that's hot. I need that. After fiddling around with the ball trying to find the right one, he sticks it inside the key. After fiddling around trying to find the right one, he sticks it inside the keyhole and turns it as the lock sings a mechanical tune and lifts open the case as the crystalline ball is exposed to the store's air. I can help you two right out the front. The cashier gestures towards the office of the store, towards the table containing a line of computers and cash registers. I smile at him as the two of us walk towards the checkout. Sounds good. Thank you so much. Shit! Clack! Anand's expression of gratitude is swiftly cut off as he accidentally drops his left crutch to the ground, as he tries to catch himself in the moment of fear. His hand freezes in place as he lets it fall to the ground, an expression on his face turning from fear to surprise as his eyes point towards his leg. He's able to stand on his left leg without a crutch. There's no grunt of pain as he's standing completely still. Just the sounds of his breathing as he gazes in shock. Anand's head turns towards me. His mouth doesn't stop, but his silence tells 1,000 words. What? I can walk again? But how? Are you seeing this, Stella? Anand, are you okay? A few seconds pass as he gazes towards his leg in bewilderment, adjusting the footing in the process. I think so. Anand straightens his leg. My leg, it's a bit sore, but I can walk. Despite showing his surprise, the emotion inside me erupts out of joy and excitement, happy for my friend that he's able to walk on his own. Oh my god, Anand, that's awesome! You're okay, I'm so glad you're okay. I wrap my arms around his waist, pulling him into a tight hug. He's been in so much pain, I can't imagine how hard it must have been to be able to walk with those crutches for months and months. How much he's constantly had to worry about where he's stepping or how excruciating one wrong move could be for him. I'm so glad he... A muffled chuckle cuts off my inner monologue as he returns my embrace. Thanks, Stella, although I don't think I'm quite out of the woods yet. Wait, did I just say that aloud? I can feel myself light with embarrassment as my blunder provides some sense of humor and on at my expense. Jesus. Sailor Mark caused me a... Yep, the human answered bluntly before letting out another chuckle. Usually it's me that does the mumbling. Is he trying to steal my thunder? Wait. Usually it's me that does the mumbling. Trying to steal my thunder? His slur remark caused me to giggle a bit. Maybe. You're adorable. His lips curl in a tender smile as he gazes into my eyes. Like before, we stand there in silence for a good minute, smiling as we hold each other in our arms. I wish this moment could last forever. Eventually, Anand begins to lean in as he closes his eyes. I mirror his actions as I do the same, preparing for at least to meet as we... So, are you two ready to purchase? The cashier awkwardly calls out to us, reminding us that we're out in the open. Anand quickly pulls away, his cheeks turn red, this time with embarrassment. Shit, yeah, sorry about that, we're ready. That seemed like it going for a very sweet... Now, that was going to be a very sweet moment. Why does society have to be so stingy with acts of affection in public? Oh well, nobody said we couldn't continue this later. Anand bends down slightly to pick up his crutches, exercising caution as to not add pressure to his formerly injured leg. He must still be pretty nervous about hurting again. Without further delay, we make our way towards the cashier. Once I have the crystal, the wheel of the stars will reveal itself before me. You're adorable. Crap. I'm making good progress. After leaving the heart of Arcana, we explored the streets some more until we came across a park in the center of one of the busier areas in town. It looked like everyone's going to the festivities since Christmas is not too far away. Multicolored lights are strung across the park's palm trees, and the Christmas statue of Snowman and Santa Claus are set up for everybody to see and take pictures of. It's all so cool. I've always loved Christmas, especially after learning of the origins of Christmas. Did you know that Christmas originated from a Germanic pagan celebration called Yule? It was a wonderful time of celebrations, gift exchanging, and spiritual reflections, just like Christmas. Actually, Christmas is more evenly based on Saturnella from the Romans' belief system. The southern accent is because that's easy to read for me. Yeah, cool. A somber aura gripped his voice, his face frowning as he stared blankly into the distance. Did I say something wrong? Oh no, I hope we haven't been annoying him too much. Although, come to think of it, I did notice he seemed a bit quiet when he found this park. Did something happen to him here? Hey, is it everything okay? I asked him. Oh, yeah, it's all okay, sorry. Anon half-heartedly answered with a facade of nonchalance, but it didn't convince me. I'm not a duck, I'm a goose. Did something happen? Did I say something wrong? Oh no, I didn't want to. I didn't. Are you sure we can sit down on one of the benches and talk? I stopped before him as I take hold of his soft, smooth hands. Only if you want to, of course. The mask finally cracks as Anon finally lets out a defeated sigh. Yeah, okay, I'd like that. Awesome. Want to sit over there? I pointed towards a bench resting under a large tree. Its branches remained undecorated. Anon nods before we walk towards the bench and take a seat. I shift myself so I can make sure that my tail has enough room. A couple of seconds pass as we observe our surroundings. Neither of us having the strength to make the first move. However, my head turning towards Anon, I see a melancholy look in his eyes. Something must have been really bothering him. His forlorn demeanor gives me enough resolve to speak at long last. So what's wrong, Anon? You can talk to me. I reach out and take hold of his hand and lock my fingers with his. I'm here for you. Things have been a little difficult lately. Anon directs his attention towards me. This park in particular brought back some memories I would have preferred stayed buried. And it's been kind of bumming me out, along with some of the other shit I've been dealing with lately. What kind of shit? I inquire, my tongue feeling strange after muttering that word, since I don't say bad words like that. Before I came to Volcadera Bluffs, my parents signed me up for a 1-year agreement that started in January. My dad told me that I'm on my own when the lease is up. Anon turned his head, looking away as he stares into the distance. Once the lease is done, Anon, either college or service, I don't care which. He deepens his voice as he imitates his father, mockingly putting on a stern face. So your lease is ending soon, right? Yeah, I'm pretty much screwed in a month or two. His eyes pointed towards the ground, as his shoulders drooped. The military wouldn't accept a mentally ill cripple like me, and my grades weren't good enough to get any college for that matter. Hearing him in such low spirits makes my heart ache. Surely his parents aren't that cruel. But is it really my place to comment on such matters? I've barely heard him talk about his parents. But he can't just leave you in the streets alone. I'm sure your parents love you. I squeeze his hand. My words caused Anon to shoot me a rather unpleasant look. Not one of disdain towards me, but simple bitterness. No, Stella, they really don't. Why did I say that? Oh no, great job, Stella. Now he thinks you're just trying to be stupid for being so presumptuous. Oh, I'm sorry. I shrink with embarrassment over my incorrect affirmation, causing Anon's expression to soften a little bit. Sorry, it's just... Anon struggles to speak as he tries to figure out the right approach. It's complicated with them. It's okay, you don't have to talk about them. How about we talk about something else? Yeah, I'd like that if it's okay, I'm sorry. He rubs his neck with his free hand. I give him a supported smile in an attempt to soothe his worries. There's no need to apologize at all, I understand. His expression of discomfort now eclipsed by the smile forming on his lips. Thanks, Stella. I promise I'll tell you about it another time. Anon softly confided before he gained a curious look upon his eyes. Although there was something I've been meaning to ask you. He wants to ask me something? Is he gonna ask me to be his girlfriend? I can feel myself getting excited at the prospect already. I understand what happened caused some issues, but was there anything you planned on doing after high school? What? Ah, I was hoping it'd be a question that would be something more romantic, but that's a good question. The shooting, it scared me and opened up a whole bunch of wounds I thought I would never have to live through again. Seeing those people die, losing my best friend, for so long my house was the only place I felt safe. And even then, I was a little bit on edge. Just stepping outside to get the mail was a big step on its own. When I hung out with Rosa for the first time in ages, Mom and Pop were so proud of me. For all I didn't think anything after high school was even an option. It's okay. An unsupportive voice pulled me out of my own world. I understand a lot has happened since that day. I imagine you'd like to put a hold on something like college or anything. Before the shooting, my words caused a slight degree of surprise on Anon's face, probably not expecting me to even say the word shooting. I originally planned on studying art and animation at the University of Pangaea. Now I'm the one who's staring into the distance as I'm forced to dig up a rather painful yet recent memory. But for a while now, I didn't think that would ever come to be. For so long, I didn't know anything, really. Anon's grip around my hand tightens. I didn't know what my future held, or if I even had one to begin with. I found the dominant sadness that consumed me for the months to rise to the surface, as I began to feel a small amount of tears well from my eyes. I searched for so long, trying to decipher the stars that held my fate, but I couldn't. I looked to the skies and saw nothing but darkness. Anon offers a sympathetic look as his hand begins to caress my cheek, wiping away the tear from my cheek. Hey, it's okay, Stella. You do have a future, and I even say you've a bright destiny ahead too. Anon smiles as he tries to lift my spirits. You're smart, you're kind, you're talented. You'll find your way no matter what you choose to do. He's been so kind to me, far kinder than I deserve. No, think more positively, Stella. Thank you, Anon. I needed to hear that. I sniffle as my lips mimic his smile. If he can see so much potential and goodness inside of me, then maybe I can find a way to see it too. Our eyes remained locked for a few seconds, wordlessly lost in each other's gaze, both of us grinning with love. I was worried if I said I love you to him too soon, if it was a spur of the moment decision type situation. I spent days thinking about it, but this moment right here, it was all the reassurance I needed. Damn, son, where'd you find this? Anon adjusted himself and moved closer to me, placing an arm around my shoulder. Feeling safe in his presence, I lean into him, resting against his chest. We stay here for about a good 5 minutes, not a single word being spoken by either of us, just simply enjoying each other's company as a warm, gentle wind blows through the park, rustling leaves and grasses through the ground. That is, until I had a question come to mind. Hey, Anon. Yeah, what's up, Stella? If you did decide to go to college, what did you want to study? I look up from his chest to see the gears in Anon's head turn. The days behind us might have been dark for us. It's the 4th of July. But surely he had some idea of his future. I mean, I thought engineering would be an interesting major. I remember making some pretty cool stuff in science class. Like this one time I made a railgun. I figure it would have been a fun degree where I'd just make cool shit all the time. I hope he's not talking about an actual gun. I don't really know what a railgun is to begin with. But I mean, aside from that, I thought about sound design. He shrugs as his gaze returns to me. Sound design? You mean like my dad? My face lit up in surprise as I leaned up to face him at eye level. That's so cool, Anon. I didn't know you were into that sort of thing. The bashful human lets out a chuckle at my excitement. Well, I'm definitely nowhere as skilled as your dad. I'm liking the futurist setup, but yeah, I played around with some programs here and there. But nothing too crazy. Still, I had no idea you were even into it. When did you start playing around with sound design? My question caused a worried look to go on his face. I'm sorry, did I say something wrong? I continued to diffuse any annoyance I caused him. Oh, nah, you didn't. Don't worry. It was just Yeah, he attempts to force the words out, but as he avoids my gaze. Yeah, sorry, it was an old buddy back from Rock Bottom who taught me. You know, nothing serious. He lets out a nervous chuckle as I see through his lie. Considering how off guard he was, it sounds like he came up with it on the spot. I have a pretty good idea of who got him into it, so I can understand his hesitation. Anon, it's okay. I take hold of his hand, gripping it gently. I know how important Fang was to you. You can talk about it. I watch with a fake smile on his face morph into dejection as he's forced to complain. Back in March, Fang invited me over to her place to study for midterms. he sighed, avoiding eye contact with a sense of shame. But Fang had her eyes set on her guitar rather than task a hand. The human adjusts himself, placing both his feet on the ground while trying to hold my hand. Anon begins to explain how he found an interest in music, how Fang passed her guitar to Anon and taught him how to play, and how they would play together during their study sessions. The answers on the study sheet remained unfilled. Apparently, he even did a little bit of the work that Papa did with the old sound design program he mentioned. For a while now, I always laughed at those who got so emotional over strumming together some strings over a piece of wood. He lets out a regretful chuckle, but when I saw how vulnerable Fang became that moment, I get it now. And part of me wanted to just be able to create something as beautiful as that. From the way he spoke about those memories, the sense of melancholy in those eyes, memories, the truth, and played plain to see, he still misses her. Despite what she did and what she almost did to me, I can't bring myself to blame him for that. Anand must have known her in a way few people did, perhaps better than her own family, for that matter. A brief flash of jealousy coursed through my body, the image of her with Anand taunting my brain before I could react with envy. I remember how much Sage's death destroyed me. How for days I refused to leave my room, unwilling to face the world while blind to the people I still had in my life, those who I cherished more than anything. Mama, Papa, Ghibli, Rosa, Anon. They all know how much I love Sage and how close the two of us were. She was like a sister I never had growing up. She was a huge part of my life, and to have her ripped away from me in an instant, it left me empty. The same way Rosa felt after her father died, or how Anon felt when Fang died too, despite what she did. Although I haven't done anything like that in months. But I've been thinking about getting back into it. I figured it'd be a cool hobby to pick up, but every time I open up the app on the computer, his words trail off as he lets out a deep sigh, each word becoming a painful reminder. Seeing the growing despondence on Anon's face, I take this moment to act by pulling him into a tight hug, the notion catching him off guard somewhat. It's okay, Anon. It's okay. I console him, my hand rubbing against his back. I think you'd be great at audio work. I'm sorry, I fucked things up again. Surprised at his words, I moved back a bit to look him in the eye, getting a better look at the remorseful look on his face that contrasts my confused expression. Well, what do you mean? You didn't mess anything up at all? I attempt to cheer him up with a smile. I've been having an amazing day with you, Anon. It's always nice to spend time with you like this. Anon turns away out of the shame as he stares at the grass below us. I just don't want to be a ruin to any more of our dates. I want to be so much better, but in the end, I always feel like nothing more than a burden. A burden? My heart aches at his description of himself. It's how I've seen myself for months, seeing that this is similar to that of drowning, no matter how hard you swim to the surface. You're dragged below by the weight of your pain. I don't know anyone that's ever feel that way about themselves. I take hold of his shoulders, turning my face to see into his eyes. Anon, you haven't ruined anything. The days I've spent with you have made me the happiest I've felt in a long time. My right hand caresses his cheek gently. Besides, you're not a burden. A twinge of fear strikes my heart. I really hope I'm not overstepping. You're my boyfriend. And just like that, the forlorn aura that clouded Anon is overshadowed by the growing redness on his cheeks. His eyes widen in response. Does that mean I can call him my GF now? Oh my god, he did not just mumble that. Why does he have to be so cute? No, I bluntly reply. A couple seconds of surprise on his face replaced with confusion. However, my attempts to hide my laughter ends in failure. Oh man, just the look on your face. You were just too adorable. I wipe away a tear before placing my hand back on his cheek. Of course you can. A smile forms on Anon's face as the two of us lean in to seal the deal with a kiss. Our lips suckle against one another, sending chills down my spine as we embrace. Anon is the first to pull away as his lips curl to reveal a tender smile. What did I ever do to deserve you? Funny, I was going to ask you the same thing. The human wraps his arms around me once more as I sink to his chest. Wrapped in his arms, his warm embrace, we enjoy the warm autumn wind. For many more moons, I felt trapped by my own fear. The trauma I've endured resurfacing as it turned me into a broken shell of a girl. Being reminded that I'm not alone, and this puts me at ease. No, it gives me hope. For the first time in a long time, I feel things will truly get better. We will move to the intermission as soon as I grab something. My glass cloth. A few minutes. Alright, I'm back. Let me set up the intermission real quick. Howdy, Sierra. Let me switch this screen over. Howdy. My production value is through the floor right now. My glasses got steamed up, so I had to grab my spare pair because that pair is stained up, or like the coating, the anti-blue light coating is scratched up and make it hard to read after it gets too dark. So I had to grab my other pair. Yeah, it's unfortunate because those are really comfortable, but you know. Anyway, you said you have some goose drawings to make? That's excellent. This is still, yeah, that's still up and working well. Alright, what are your goose ideas? Give me the first one. Lean, as in the drink, or just like really thin? Oh, the walkie slush. Alright, so what I'm thinking of this is the goose is going to be kind of swimming. Actually, let's make him kind of wobbly. Kind of walkie-like. Right, and then he's just kind of wobbly like that. Just a real quick little shitposty goose drawing, you know, for the day. You will have access to these images as soon as the stream is over, by the way. And then he's just kind of like, I don't know, any cup of lean. Gotta add these Jolly Ranchers. Actually, I have a way easier way to make a little hard candies appear. These should probably be lighter colors. Boom, there we go. Look at that. Way easier. And then if I move to the Orpal colors, there we go, that's about the right lean Orpal. Oh wait, that's white. Hold on. There we go. And then I can move back into O-ring. Real quickly, scale this back down. And then the rest of the goop is a different shade of Orpal, perhaps. There you go. How's that? Yeah, it's gonna show up for you in a second. I think it's about a minute at most. That's just because my internet's not the greatest. It's okay. It can handle, having a few of these LiDAR programs open at once. It couldn't handle heavy rendering online. How's that? He's in the lead. And then what's the second shit post? Oh, I've been needing to make one of these for a long time. Alright. So I'm going to need to make a steel chair layer. Alright, so this kind of... I need black one. Man, I used to go to like a church youth group. I have such good memory of what these things look like. There we go. That's roughly like the shape of a steel chair. You can kind of see that, right? There we go. This section of the drawing is absolutely minuscule. I should probably adjust this to be... It's just very pixelated. It's fine. Let's give this an actual steel color up here. There we go. And I'll give it, a bit of a darker highlight thing here. There we go. There's a bit of shading for that. Alright, so now, what do we need? Well, we need to add an extra layer behind the steel chair so that Goose can, be behind, like have its wings behind it. And so that would entail me grabbing more black, physically putting this behind it. And then one more layer, move that to the top, connect this in, add some wing texture. Add some white, bing bang boom. There. I mean, that's kind of those hands for the goose don't look bad. They're supposed to look like kind of feathers. So I mean, it works, I guess. Grab black again. Draw this in. We'll just connect these here. Add one more layer so that we can kind of have the thing here. Boom. Oh, that's not the right color. Yep. Total shitpost. Alright, a little bit of orange. That's a good one for right there. Grab my pixel tool. Orange on. I mean, I did make the ultimate Mia poster shut up image like a few weeks ago too, man. It's the crucifixion. Well, I mean, in itself is a Mia post by virtue of Mia is in it. But alas, it's not the way he wishes. Yep. Now to add my silly little boots. Cease your speaking Mia poster. Silence, invalid. Huh? Oh no, I'm just talking about how the fucking image looks. There you go. Look at that. Oh, then I should probably put the other eye in line. That can't hurt to give it little red dots. Let me actually print screen this so that it can be had. There we go. Yeah, I figured so. I love, yeah, just doing geese is so much fun. Oh, wait, I forgot to add the tail to this. Yeah, the tail's kind of wiggling a little bit. Just getting ready to strike. Look at that shit. That's so nice. Hell yeah, brother. Anyway, yeah, oh yeah, there's one more goose that I owe somebody, and it's that they want the spy crab goose. There we go. Isn't she lovely? Or isn't he lovely? Man, this one doing numbers. It's amazing. I might actually have another 3-chapter night. God damn. Look how fast that first one went by. Yeah. I wonder if the British people are awake yet to enjoy this. Damn. I just got some meme that just said, when Soldier Boy invaded Normandy, and did just fireworks. God, I love my country so much. Man. Hold on, I have one more idea for a goose, but it's gonna have to fit in these margins here. Or at least I think I do. After all, it is the 4th of July, and it would not be complete without fireworks. There we go. And then just a little. I mean, that one's definitely the cutest one. Yeah, Noble's in here, because I told him the stream was going on just a second ago. How you doing? Yeah, we're just doing a little intermission, man. Just to, let me rest a little bit from doing the voices, but... Yeah, no, it's just drawn geese. You got a good goose? It's amazing. There's just something about, you can just draw geese doing anything. You're just like, yeah, they would. I'm drinking Yorkshire tea and eating digestive biscuits. Importation is so much fun. Uh, Sorry, this goose is just so undetailed that I'm drawing, but it's just he's drinking a little bit of tea. Look, he's watching the other one light off fireworks way too close. It's just what my dad looked like when he used to look like when he watched me light off fireworks when I was younger. Yeah, well, I live in the state of Kansas, right? And it's just completely normal for children to just light off fireworks. And so my dad was like, all right, let's make sure that, he gets to the hospital quick if he needs it. So it's just like he'd grab his drink or whatever, and he'd be kind of like bent over like this, just kind of staring at what I'm doing. This has that same vibe as just hanging out with my dad. Yeah. Lean goose. On that motherfucking lean! I love lean, Charlie! I love lean! We might add to the sheet later, but I'm gonna get back to that motherfucker reading. Yeah. See you in a little bit. Chapter the 9th. Fall apart. Will tomorrow overcome? Will I make it through tonight? I'm scared. What if she doesn't forgive me? She will forgive you. You didn't do anything wrong. I promise you, Rosa. Is just as nervous as you are. Oh, wait, no. I did this backwards. I'm scared. What if she doesn't forgive me? She'll forgive you. You didn't do anything wrong. I promise you, Rosa's just as nervous as you are. I know, but... I placed my arm on her shoulder, looking into her azure lit eyes with reassurance. It's gonna be okay. Trust me. I trust you. Leaves rustle along the ground as the cool winds blow through a relatively quiet park. The gray sky shining below us as it marched in color of the snow. Almost as Mother Nature's way of giving us the effect of winter, even though it never snows in California. About 2 days have passed and Stella and I were able to have a nice normal date with no issue whatsoever. No attacks from Trish, no tragic encounters with Reed. And I was most surprised how well Stella handled herself throughout the date, especially in the donut shop, where I was certain the crowd was too overwhelming for her, but to my surprise she could calm herself down and not let her instinctive fear consume her. Aside from the mishaps here and there, she seemed so happy that day. The bubbly and outgoing demeanor shone through her as she eagerly talked about things related to her interest, like astrology's effect on the winter solstice or a new anime she's been into here and there. It brought a strong warmth to my heart. That's the Stella I remember. It was a good day, that's for sure. I stare at the ground, gazing upon my grass beneath our feet, enjoying the sounds of nature. My eyes instinctively turned towards the metal brace attached to my left leg. I'm still in complete awe that my leg could make another recovery in such a short period of time to the point where I can actually stand or walk around without needing any crutches. Although I'm not sure how wise an idea that would be, especially since it still feels kind of sore if I put too much weight on it. I'm still surprised Trish didn't fuck up my leg beyond repair, but I'd rather not gamble it away at the prospect of being able to walk without feeling like a cyborg. What's wrong with cyborgs? Cyborgs are cool. I turned to see Stella shoot me a playful, pouty face. Me and my fucking mumbling. I swear it's gonna be the death of me. I'm definitely not cool as a cyborg. I shrugged with a flare of sarcasm. Besides, I'm probably more of a cyborg from the Victorian London standards. Still a cyborg, though. Stella winks as she nudges my side with her elbow. Yeah, I guess so. Her playful enthusiasm listed a smile that grew across my face. Now I see one of those wheelchairs with a minigun attached, and I'll really fit the bill. Her eyes light up with some nonsensical description. Oh, is that some kind of reference to a character from a new anime? That's so awesome. Actually, that would be pretty cool. Not quite. It's an enemy from a video game. The design is definitely stuck in my head. That sounds awesome. What's it about? Her azure blue eyes gleamed with interest as the enthusiastic smile grew across her lips. Her reaction caused me to blush. Why does she have to be this fucking cute? Come on, Anon, don't be a retard now. Wait. I really hope I didn't mumble that word. What's the best way to summarize the game? I don't even think the developers knew what they were making. The best way I can describe it is, it's basically a cautionary tale about why England is such a terrifying place to live. She chuckles at my groovy description of the game as she scoots close to me on the bench seat, resting her head on my shoulder as we enjoy the wondrous side of urban nature and wait for Rose to show up. Stella wanted to arrange a meet-up with Rose and apologize for actions, and yet Rosa wanted to do the exact same thing. I'm playing the role of some sort of mediator. Texting Rose on Stella's behalf, I guess. Keeping the peace. I don't know that will even be necessary considering how both of them feel bad about their actions despite doing nothing wrong. So we arranged to meet in a quiet location and decided to go to the Volcadario Memorial Park. It was the same place Rosa met with me the other day. So I figured this spot would be as good as any. Hola, mis amigos. A familiar yet shy female voice calls out from behind us as we turn to see Rose begin to approach us from the stone path, dressed in the same warm floral coat attire I saw her last time in. A calm smile rests on her face, however her eyes and body language tell another story of nervousness and apprehension. As she takes small steps towards us, her fidgeting hands becoming more and more noticeable the closer she gets. Is she going to forgive me? What if I say the wrong thing? Maybe I don't want to lose her too. The anxious Ankylosaur is clearly nervous as Stella was about the meeting. Hi, Rosa. Stella nervously smiles as she rises from her seat, waving at her friend. It's good to see you again. I follow Stella's actions, ascending from the bench as I try to place more weight at my right foot, and the two of us begin to approach Stella. I stay back as I allow Stella to come face to face with Rosa. This is about them, so it's only so fair they get the space they need. Thank you for coming, Rosa. The Stego's eyes point towards the ground as she tries to maintain her composure. I missed you. I missed you too, chica. Rosa shyly looks towards Stella as she returns her gaze. Do you want to sit on one of those tables and talk? Rosa points towards the wooden tables on the ground to the left. Yeah, that would be nice. I nod with a smile towards her. Yeah, I would like that. The sheep's aura is still present in her voice. Bien, you two. Thank you. She nods to the two of us as we approach the wooden bench. Stella and I sit on the side in front of us, and Rosa sits on the other side, on the other side of the table. Sits alone on the other side of the table. The two slump their chairs as I carefully maneuver my leg around the bench so I can place my legs underneath, making me look like a puppet trying to play soccer. As we adjust ourselves and take the seats of our table, it takes a couple of seconds of silence pass as both begin to fidget with their hands at the table as if they're carefully analyzing what to say and how to determine how to avoid a bad scenario. Eventually, Rose is the first to break the stalemate and she clears her throat. Stella, there's something I've been meaning to talk to you about. The regretful Ankylosaur struggles to make eye contact as she addresses us. About what I said that day. About the Familia's home. I just wanted to say... I know, I'm sorry, Rosa. I shouldn't have blown up on you like that. Stella's apology causes the remorse in Rosa's face to be overshadowed by pure surprise and confusion, as if the Stego's words completely derailed her plans and expectations on how this meetup would go. Hermana, what are you talking about? I'm here to apologize to you for what I did. What I kept hidden from you. The tenseness in her arms loosen as she's completely taken aback by her friend's words. Stella sighs as she adjusts on the bench and rests her head on the table. You didn't do anything wrong, Stella? I knew you were only trying to protect me, just like my parents were doing. Now it's Stella who looks away with shame. The fact that I screamed at you like that kept me up all night. I regret every word I said. A small trail of tears begins to well from Stella's eyes. She looks at the both of us, trying to give herself the strength to provide herself with the closure it seems to have haunted her for the past couple of days. You all are pretty much the only family I've left. Everyone else has either died or completely abandoned me, but you, all of you, you were there for me during some of the darkest days I've ever had to go through. The clarity in Stella's voice becomes more shaky and croaky as she continues to open up. Stella. Digestive biscuits. Rose's arms reach across the table to take a hold of the Stego's shaky hand. And I? And then the dam finally breaks. Stella leans in and she takes hold of Rose's hands, sobbing profusely as she's overwhelmed with the emotions. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. No. Está bien, Stella. You have nothing to apologize for. Rose begins to stroke her hands, trying to soothe Stella with a soft voice. The same sadness on Stella's face begins to appear as on Rose's as she empathizes with her distraught friend. You have every right to feel the way that you did. I reach out and take hold of Stella's free hand, offering a tight squeeze as Rosa holds the other. I know, but she looks up from the table, fresh tears falling from her eyes, creating a trail of black lines dripping down her face. Thank you. No. What are amigos for? Rosa smiles as her other hand joins the table. You were there in my darkest days, too. A tearful smile forms on Stella's face as her eyes meet with her closest friends. You've been the closest thing I've ever had to a sister. And family sticks together, right, Rosa? Sí, of course, chica. Over the course of the next couple of minutes, the anxiety and sadness that enveloped the table were completely replaced by conversations of joy and excitement. With Stella and I informing about our visit to town a couple days ago, informing of her all the fun that we had and places to visit, although something tells me I don't want to tell her about the occultist shop or how I bought Stella some blasphemous artifact. At this point, I feel more like a ghost than a real companion to Stella, but I still can't help but smile. Those two were so worried about destroying their relationship. Now, all that fear is evaporated, and they continue to enjoy each other's company again. It's nice, isn't it, dear? A new voice appears, one I haven't heard since. Oh no. Turning away from Stella and Rosa's conversation, my peripheral vision takes notice of a figure sitting next to Rosa, as she's just spawned herself into existence. A diminutive presence paired with the features that makes me feel a sense of newfound remorse. These two, they remind me so much of my children when they were growing up. Fang's mom. Why is she here? Why now? I've been haunted by the dead for the past couple months now. The ghost of Fang makes her now me tormented me daily, trapping me in a living hell. The pain still eats at me, even if they were more docile now. Seeing Samantha's face among the revenants brings a new level of pain. The pterosaur's nostalgic tone turns somber as her head points to the ground. I always thought the two of them would go on to do extraordinary things. My heart sinks with each word uttered from her. My little Nasser was so kind, always putting others before himself and doing what's right. If he were still here, he would have had the chance to jump into the medical school he wanted. Ever so slightly, her voice becomes shakier as she lets out a sniffle. And Lucy, my little pirate princess. Samantha's words are quiet, and it drowns out the conversation next to me between Stella and Rosa. The tarot matriarch took a deep breath as she placed both her hands on the table. She was such a creative soul, creating those wonderful stories and adventures of the wild imaginations. I catch a scene with a stream of tears rolling down her cheeks as she reminisces about her lost children. Or creating that band with those little friends of hers. Determined to make a mark on the world with her music. She was always shooting for the stars. She turns to me with a grim expression, the light in her eyes completely gone as her soul left her body, leaving her a broken husky woman, crying from empty, lifeless eyes. Is this happening to her after the shooting? And then my Lucy, she took her brother's life before taking her own life too. She looks down at where her hands are sitting on the table as I follow where she's looking. What? I begin to notice the large cuts on her wrist. A crimson river begins to pour out of her pale blue arms as it coats the table in red. Just remember, Anon. I can feel a tightness in my chest as I look at her to see an obscene amount of blood pouring from her eyes, her skin gradually becoming paler and paler. It all falls apart, one way or another. No. Fuck, why? Anon? Anon? Why did I have to hurt so many innocent people through my sheer fucking apathy? Anon, what's wrong? They're all dead because of me. Reed has destroyed his fucking brain. Ripley's drinking himself to death, all because of me. The despair in me begins to fade as I feel a light touch of a hand on my fingers, the scaly sensation on my skin snapping back to reality. I move my head to the left and I see Stella and Rosa gazing at me with concern, the latter gently squeezing my hand. What happened? Are you okay? I turned to show them the apparition of Feng's mother, only to see an empty seat where she was sitting a moment ago. To confirm my suspicions, I inspect the table before me, seeing that the wood is painted a light burgundy rather than dark red. Why did it feel so real this time? Were they visiting you again? Stella's voice pulls my attention towards her as she gently squeezes my hand. Rosa expresses surprise at Stella's question. I guess she still might have thought she was the only one I told about my hallucinations. I struggled to answer. The storm brewing in my mind makes it difficult to give a coherent answer. I was scared to tell either of them why Ripley got pushed over the edge or why there was suddenly a new face amongst the crowd. I didn't want them to worry about me any more than they already have. As I fight to force one another out of my breath, I see the look of both Stella and Rosa's eyes, expecting to see a strange look emerge from them. Typically, if someone witnessing their friend talk to ghosts like a schizo. However, I see only concern in their eyes. Genuine concern for the well-being of their friend. Well, boyfriend in Stella's case. I've forgotten the feeling of someone caring about me. I've been hanging around the two of them for the couple of weeks now, yet the feeling still feels foreign to me sometimes. Well, they deserve to know the truth. If they can open up to me with all the horrific shit they've endured, I can be honest with them too. It's the least I can do for them. Yeah, but it was someone new this time. A defeated voice escapes my lips. It was Fang and Nature's mother. A shocked expression grows on Stella's face, while confusion grows on Rosa. Their mama? The wheels turn in her head, trying to decipher why I'm having visions of someone she assumes to be alive. Isn't their mama? When I met with Ripley last week, he told me she died. She took her own life after. My voice trails off as the last few words become too painful to utter. I listen to a horrified look on both faces. Stella lets out a gasp, clearly shocked by the horrific and tragic revelation. Azraela quietly mutters to herself in Spanish. Dios mío, when did this happen? I don't know. Not long after the snooting, I think. I only learned about it from their father last week. Stella's eyes widen as if she found a missing piece of the puzzle she'd beginning to finish. I had a feeling there was more to the story you told me the other day. Her surprise is now replaced with sympathy as she recalls the words I spoke at the diner. When we got there, he didn't even want anything to do with me. He even told me that that's why we're so hesitant to speak. Stella's fingers ran across my hand as I was forced to bring the source of my good deal of guilt to the surface. Yeah, I figured something like that would have been too upsetting to talk to you guys about. I explained to the two, taking the suicide of their late friend into consideration within my reasoning. I'm sorry, I should have been more honest. Chico estúpido. Rose is the first to break the silence as the disapproval grows on her face. Did you already forget what I told you in the car while driving you home? The morning after I found you guys again, right? Rose's lips simpered into a warm smile, her face softened a bit. You do not need to keep hiding your pain. You're not alone.
No mas.
When I first heard her say those words, I didn't believe them. I easily dismissed her comfort as some undeserved form of pity, believing that if she knew more than about what happened to Fang and I, she'd be more willing to wish upon me the anguish I put myself through on a daily basis. But after this time I've spent with both of them, I learned of the pain and guilt they've both had to endure as well. Where there was one disbelief, there's now solace and comfort, knowing that they truly mean it and accept me in spite of all my flaws. Thank you, Rosa. A smile forms my lips as my eyes start to get heavier. It really is a terrible day for rain. Thank you both. That means much more than you could ever know. Rosa's smile grows warmer. Knowing that our words are finally able to reach me, a sweet yet somber smile grows across Stella's face, emerges too as she listens to the exchange between her two companions. It will all be okay, Anon. Stella reaches across the table, now taking hold of my hand with both of her hands. You're such a kind, thoughtful, and noble soul. Never forget that karma rewards those who spread good energy into the world. Rosa's smile grows with amusement in response to her Stego friend's mysticism. See, you've really come a long way since. Ring, 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 ring! An electronic tune cuts through the air as my phone violently vibrates from my right pocket. Shit, sorry about that, I just gotta check it. No worries at all, Anon. I hope everything's okay. Stella replies as I reach my phone and look at my caller ID. Mr. Ditkovich, a.k.a. Land Leech. Not this fucking vulture again. Why is he calling me? He usually visits when I... Wait. A wave of fear echoes through my gut. Shit, I didn't forget to pay this month. He usually would have texted me in advance if that's the case. Still, it's probably not good to let it go to voicemail. Sorry, I just gotta take this real quick. I apologize as I res from the bench, shuffling myself between the seat and the table. Not to preocupes. We'll be right here. Thanks, I'll be back. I tell them before walking away from the bench, walking towards one of the trees a couple feet away from us. I press my thumb against the green accept button on the screen and raise the phone to my ear. Hello, Mr. Ditkovich? I answer with a degree of uncertainty. My question is answered the cacophony of paint hacking and coughing. The ear-splitting sound emerges from my phone's low-quality speakers, causes me to move away from it from my ear until it ceases. Anon, where are you? A scratchy voice blasted from the device with a thick Slavic accent. The annoyed expression in his tone caused me to worry a little bit. I'm out and about. I nearly tripped over my words, trying to compose myself. Why? Is everything okay? My answer elicits an annoyed grumble that emerges before he clears his throat. Okay, you have 8 hours to get back to apartment. Why does he want me back? Did he need me to come by and repair and check on... Wait. Oh shit, is my lease already over? Why, is everything okay? Your lease is up. You get out now. His answer helps confirm my suspicions while also filling me on an extreme sense of dread. It's not even January yet. I had until the 1st of January to find a new place. Why is he kicking me out this early? I've got new buyers for lease, so I have to paint walls before they come. I can practically see the spittle fly out of his mouth as he responds to my mumbling. But sir, can't we just work something out? Or at the very least give me a little more... I try to plead to the cantankerous Ivan over the phone before I'm cut off with a scoffing voice. No! Sale is final! Pack your shit and be out of here by 9 p.m. or else all your shit is going in the garbage. No. The tight, sinking feeling on my chest grows more intense. The sound of my beating becomes louder and faster. All I can do is stand there in shock, trying to process the sound of the sudden turn of events. I'm fucked. I'm homeless. I don't have anywhere to go now. Why won't he just let me extend it or find a new apartment in his building? Do you hear me? The aggressive voice echoes through the headset speakers and puts me back in the waking world. I quickly adjust my phone as I clear my throat. Yes, I do. I stumble over my words once more, feeling like a newborn giraffe taking its first steps. Sorry, sir, I just gotta make a quick call. I'll be back ready to pick everything up. You have 8 hours. Don't waste time. Mr. Ditkovich growled as his scornful voice was followed by a beep, confirming that he hung up. Fuck, I really don't want to have to do this, but I don't see any other choice. Lowering my phone, my shaky thumb begins navigating through the phone interface. Exiting the call app, I open the contact list on my phone. Scroll down. Mr. Ditkovich, Stella, Rosa, Monty, drugstore hookup, Mrs. Castillo, Fang, do not call, Nacer, do not call, Dad. My eyes manage to spot the contact in question. However, as my finger hovers over the call button by his contact icon, I find myself struggling to find the strength to press down as I can practically hear the words that are during our last meeting. You got a second chance, and this is what you did with it? What a waste. Fuck it. What other choice do I have? My thumb taps against the screen, changes the screen's background to a dark color as the phone indicates that it's sending out a call to my father. Wasting no time, I raise the device to my ear to listen to the dull yet anxiety-inducing sounds of its ringing. A couple of seconds pass until there is no answer, a suspense feeling like an eternity. I look over to see Stella and Rosa, both of them gazing at me with a degree of concern in their eyes. I can't let them see me like this right now. I walk farther away until the ring is cut off abruptly. The first new sound I hear is a deep sigh. What do you want? Nice to see you too, Dad. I'm sorry to call so unexpectedly, but I really need your help right now. I can already see him sneering over the desperation in my voice. The landlord's kicking me out even though my lease is still good till the end of the month. Would you, Mom, be able to help me find... Why the hell would I help you? His callous dismissal rendered me silent for a couple of seconds before I could hear a emerge from the phone. Why would you... Dad, what do you mean? I don't have a place to stay anymore. Please, I need your help. I pleaded with him, the grumbling in his voice hitting me that he remained unmoved by my desperation. What the hell did I tell you a year ago, boy? My dad brushes away my cries. The disregard in his voice speaks volume. After the lease is up, it's either college or the army, but I don't care which is which. But Dad, can we? And here you are, graduated, only because that meteor dodger infested high school you went to got shot up. And what have you done now, aside from wasting away in that fucking apartment of yours because you're too stupid to get into college or too crippled and broken to get into the forces? My father's words cut me deeper than any knife, heartbroken that my own flesh and blood could say something as fucked as that. I knew neither of them cared about me beyond doing the bare fucking minimum, but I could hear those words coming out of my mouth. I don't even know what to say. It's like I lifted a blanket expecting to find a turd, only to find a dead body instead. However, the sadness passes through my body like waves in a river is replaced with a ray of new emotions, resentment and anger. I didn't ask for any of this to happen, Dad! I growled through the mic, placing a sarcastic emphasis on the last word while barely being able to contain the fury within. And yet you didn't do a damn thing with your life afterwards. God, what a disappointment. Your mother thinks so too. Fuck you. What are you to say to me, boy? My mumbled words caused my dad's cruel tone and fades into anger. You know what? I don't even care. I mumbled that by mistake. I'm so tired of being treated like nothing more than the afterthought of both of them. They can go to hell. I said, fuck you. I began to raise my voice over the phone, moving farther and farther away into the park. I don't want Stella or Rose to see me like this now. My whole life, both you and Mom have never actually been there for me. Not even once. You've always treated me as nothing more than an obligation or a piece of dog shit stuck to the bottom of your shoe. When have you actually told me that you love me? Or that you're proud of me? Huh, Dad? I began to raise my voice as I continued to trudge through the leaves and the grass. You little waste of skin. His voice dripped with venom after listening to my rant. We gave you food and a house. Don't forget, I was paying for your apartment in Volcadera, you ungrateful little shit. Even when you ran away from town after your retarded stunt with that. That's what a parent's supposed to do! I screamed towards the handset. The anger from years of built-up neglect and lack of love swells like me in Inferno. What? You want a fucking medal for the bare fucking minimum that a dad's supposed to do for their son? My outburst is met with wordless hate. I breathe in with a cold fury until my father finally speaks. You're no son of mine, and you were never much of a father to begin with. My words match his vitriol, albeit deprived of the same energy as I found myself moments ago. I'm filled with anger. Anger about how my parents have shown me no love since the shooting. No love now that I'm homeless. I'm angry because it seems they never loved me at all. Have neither of you told me you were ever proud of me whenever I got a good grade or made some extra money for my soda business back home? Silence cuts through the air like a knife. I can practically see the scornful look in his eyes. Did you or Mom ever try to comfort me after a bad day at school? Give me advice on how to deal with bullies? The conflict between anger and sadness becomes more apparent with the voice with each breath I take. You didn't even visit me in the hospital after I get shot. The annoyed grunt emerges from the speakers, the tone of the voice saying, "Shut up, I don't care." Tears start falling from my eyes as I truly begin to process the situation I found myself in, or the confirmation of the suspicion I've feared for so long. My own parents don't even care about me. They don't love me. I was always worried about how that may have been the case, especially how emotionally indifferent and downright apathetically been towards me. But to know for sure, it's tearing me apart. Don't ever contact me or my wife again, he spits out. His choice of words pierced me like a knife to the gut, showing how he's been beginning to distance himself from me. Gladly, you fucking bald cunt! I choke out before lowering the phone from my head and pressing the red end call button. Beep. Fuck! My phone falls out of my hand into the grass beneath as my breath begins to shudder uncontrollably. The world around me begins to spin as my legs feel like they've turned into jelly. I'm fucked, I thought. I had more time. Mr. Ditkovich can't kick me out. We signed a lease. He legally cannot kick me out. A tense feeling envelops my chest as I fall to the ground on my knees. My lungs begin to feel smaller as it becomes more difficult to draw breath. No, downright impossible to breathe. I have nowhere to go. I have about less than 8 hours to get everything I need. And then, fuck! My ears are begin to be assaulted with a sudden barrage of whispering. The eerily familiar voices send chills down my spine, and it adds horror and despair. What are you going to do? Where are you going to go? There's no hope. It's over. Now we're truly lost. Forever lost. Fang, Nacer, Naomi, shut up. Please stop. The shadows of former friends begin to cry out in pain. My focus is drawn to the more devastating matter at hand. My father, he disowned me. Both of them did. I knew their love was always conditional, but to finally know it for certain, I'm alone. I'm truly alone. Just give up. Do it now. They never loved you. Neither of them did. Now there's nothing left for us. There's nothing left. No family. No one loves me. I'm alone. The world around me begins to spin in circles as the ringing deafens the whispers. The world around me goes dark as I see the two figures running towards me. I can't make out their appearance other than a flash of orange and green going closer. A faint yet muffled voice calls to me. Anon! Rosa, Stella, I'm sorry. And just like that, my vision fades to black as I'm separated from the waking world. 3 days later, a cold wind rustles through my right side, piercing my skin despite my many layers of clothing. A few days have passed since I received that call, and I'm now officially homeless. I gaze at my surroundings, surveying the decrepit and harsh streets of Skin Row, taking in the note of absent-minded vagrants, moving cars, and distant wailing sirens. If there's one thing I've learned from this part of town, it's that you've always got to stay on your toes. But despite the dangers that lurk in these streets, the criminals, murderers, drug addicts, pit bull owners, I'm void of any fear. No, it's more like I'm void of, well, anything. Like there's nothing left of me, just cold emptiness. No possessions, they were all trash from that vodka-guzzling fuck kissed me out of this apartment. No friends, no family, nothing. Maybe this is just what was meant to happen to me. After all, could I really ever find happiness after what I've done? What I've caused? No, it's a fuck joke. It's just the universe's cruel way of doling out punishment to bottom feeders like me. I deserve this all. Hey, dweeb. A familiar voice calls out to my left. This voice fills me with the duality of emotions. One of remorse and nostalgia. I jerk my head back to the sound of my new visitor. I see a girl I can never forget, no matter how hard I try. The all-black clothes she wore contrast the ashen features of her body. The beautifully feathered wings and soft white hair giving her an angelic aura. Fang. Why are you here? I'll bluntly ask the ghost that's come to haunt me. Except I see no ill intent in her eyes, no murderous hate, no despair, only sympathy. I came to make sure you were okay. She replies with a gentle cadence as she lowers herself onto the dirty sidewalk below, joining me on the ground. I'm taken aback by her sudden change in tone compared to the last time she's appeared before me. Why now? Didn't seem like that before. Things are different now. Fang's eyes pointing towards the ground as she responded to my answer with little elaboration. Are they really? Fang lets out a sigh. She's at a loss for words on how to console the inconsolable. I don't know. You tell me. You're not even real. You're just a figment of my fucked up imagination. My rather harsh wording does not phrase the events relevant to me. The sympathetic look in her eyes remained as she inched closer. Aren't I, though? The love you had for me was real. The constant dreams and nightmares you've had since that day are real. I've been in your mind every day since I left this world. The presence I left behind is real, is it not? A few seconds pass as I take a moment to process the words spoken by her. I mean, yeah, Fang is dead. She will always be dead, and nothing can be done to fix that. But yeah, even in death, she still remains a big part of my life. Whether it's the impact she's left on me, or how much I could take everything back, so that she never would have had to feel so alone, so hopeless, like I feel right now. Maybe in a way she's right. She still is real. There's always going to be hard times ahead. My eyes meet her as my face lights up with confusion, unsure of what she meant by her words. However, her expression fades into a more mournful expression. But you can't keep bearing your heart away whenever hard times come. You have to open your eyes to the light. Open my eyes? Was that supposed to be a metaphor for something? Have I... Open your eyes, please, Anon. Tears start to well up from Tara's amber-lit eyes. Her sudden shift in emotion catches me off guard. What the fuck? Fang, what are you... I'm interrupted as both her hands take hold of my ragged winter coat, shake me violently as she pleads with Sala. Please, wake up! Wake up! Oh, fuck, Fang. What are you doing? Please, Anon, wake up! The pitch in her voice begins to shift, transforming her voice into wait. Wake up, Anon, I can't lose you too! Please, I love you. Please, don't leave me alone. A soft and shaky voice chokes out, causing me to slowly gain consciousness back. Stella? I briefly catch a look at my surroundings as if my eyes spot the dried grass, fall leaves, benches in the distance. Wait, am I still at park? What the hell is going on? Before I can react any further, I'm cut off with a swift movement as Stella latches onto me. Embracing me in a tight hug, the Stego's plaited tail wrapping around me as her face buried in my shoulder as she lets out a sigh of relief. Tears of relief. Over her shoulder, I see Rosa approaching me with an expression of relief and worry. She moves in to join Stella and hugging me. However, she stops halfway through as slight discomfort grows across her face, possibly not wanting to get in between us. Anon, Dios míos, thank Raptor Jesus. Are you okay? Rosa kneels on the ground as she meets her eye level. What happened? You passed out for 2 minutes. 2 minutes? No, that can't be right. Mr. Ditkovich kicked me out 3 days ago. I've been living on the street since... Wait. Why couldn't I remember either of them after I got kicked out? Why am I missing such a big chunk of my memory? What, 2 minutes, but... I asked before my own bewilderment catching me off guard. It's been 3 days. I swear it was just... I struggle to finish my sentence. My faculties start to work again normally as I begin to see the world more clearly. The same snow-white sky as before. The grass and leaves on the ground are the same. And a cool breeze brushes against my clothes once more. I was only out for 4 minutes? What the fuck is wrong with me? Never mind that now. What's wrong, Anon? Stella pulls her head away from my shoulder as she addresses me with great concern. We heard you yelling at someone over the phone. You seemed so upset and then you just passed out. Her eyes lowered towards my cheek, noticing the liquid stain that poured down my eyes. Her sympathy grew as she moved her hand to wipe it away. It's nothing. No les es. Rosa calls up to me with disapproval. You do not have to hide things from us. You are our friend. Please tell us. Stella softly pleads with me as the gleaming azure eyes that pierce my very soul, showing how badly she wants to help. No, they're right. I can't keep hiding and pushing people away from me. I'm sorry. My arms around Stella as I return her hug. I'll tell you guys. Eventually, the two of us broke away as Stella readjusted herself on the grass below. Gently taking a hold of my hand with the support of Aura, Rosa lowered herself into the ground and to Joy's eye level. And I began to explain everything about what happened. How my sleazy landlord decided to fuck me over and kick me out of my apartment despite having 1 month left on the lease, or how my father essentially confirmed that I was worried that both he and Mom thought of me a loser, a nobody, a mistake, a waste of skin. How I was no son of theirs. The revelation of my predicament elicited an empathetic response from both my dino companions. However, tears began to roll down Rosa's face and the stain her otherwise well-applied makeup, and mention of my parents disowning me, considering how close she is with her family and how much pain she felt when she lost her father. I can imagine it hits close to home. While saddened by the news, Stella remained far more composed than I would have been, considering how frightened she was for my well-being moments ago. then everything just went dark. I woke up thinking it was 3 days later and completely alone on the street. No food, no friends, nothing at all. My fingers fidget with the grass below, plucking away green strands from the earth. And then I heard someone telling me to wake up, and I found myself in your arms. Stella gives a quizzical look, curious as to why I've decided to stop myself mid-sentence. I can almost imagine explaining to your girlfriend how your dead ex comforting you in a dream would be a bit awkward, especially when said ex almost killed her. I'm sorry. I choke out, causing Stella the sympathy to overtake her suspicion as she wraps her arms around me once more. No, please, don't be sorry. None of this is your fault, Anon. Her tail begins to coil around me, fully trapping me in her embrace. Nobody should ever have to worry about having nowhere to live, or hear something that cool from your own family. I don't know anymore. It's gonna be okay, Anon. You're always welcome at my house. Wait, what? See, mi madre said I would be more than willing to open her doors up to you as well. My eyes point towards the ground out of shame, feeling guilty for receiving such pity. No, I don't deserve their kindness. I truly don't. I spent my life leeching off others. Last people I'll do that to is either of them. Suddenly a pair of hands gently takes hold of my face as my head turns towards Stella's face. Please, Anon, we want to help you in any way we can. Gazing into her eyes once more, I'm able to get a better idea of her intentions, and I find that I'm wrong. The look in her eyes, it's not pity or just mere sympathy. It's love. True love. Is this what it feels like to not be alone? You don't have to fight so hard against the world. Let me help you. I find myself struggling back against the growing tears in my eyes after the words leave Stella's lips. Being shown this much kindness, I don't know how to handle it. But I refuse to be the same man I was for so long. I refuse to push away those who love me anymore. Okay. I suddenly nod as a smile forms on my lips. Thank you. A small smile appears on Stella's face as she embraces me. I love you. I love you too. 1 day later. Okay, that should be the last of it. I'll reach into the black plastic bag and begin pulling out my various items. Clothes, supplies, and video games. Pretty much whatever I can shove into a trash bag at the last possible second. It's been days since I've been kicked out of my apartment. Well, things are surprisingly not too bad. Who the hell am I kidding? It's been absolute shit. I lost my home, my parents want fuck all to do with me, and best of all, there's a new face among the ghosts that constantly hang out and toy with me. Fang and Nacer's mom. I held Sam in my arms as the words uttered by Fang's dad and the bar repeat in my head like a broken record. I can't even imagine what he must have felt in that moment. The despair comes that losing your children, only to have your wife take her own life right afterwards. Nothing comes out of that same man. Nobody comes out of that same man. My mind begins to hyperfixate on subjects as I start to mindlessly pull various items and place them down on the floor beside the bed. I haven't realized what I'm pulling out of the bag. Maybe this is my brain's way of manifesting guilt. Is it raining? And self-hatred resurfaces that clashes with my newfound resolve to become a better person. Not just for those I love, but for myself as well. I feel trapped in a Jekyll and Hyde type situation. With that bonus of having no family or money, I'm constantly seeing dead people like a fucking schizo. It's just... No, I need to get over myself right now. It would have been a lot worse. It could have been a lot worse for me. Raising myself off the ground as I step away from the makeshift suitcase. I can feel myself calm down as I take a moment to step away from the unpacking. I'm really glad that Stella and her family let me stay in their guest room. My eyes observed the surroundings in front of me. A freshly made double bed. The color of the blanket matches the tone of the walls. A small window was placed near the top of the ceiling, typical for bedrooms that are on the top floor. And to the foot of the bed is a dresser with a mirror. Perfect, so I can get a good view of myself when I wake up screaming from a nightmare. Other than that, there's nothing too noteworthy here. Although I'm not sure what guest rooms were supposed to look like. Back at my home, my parents always just used my parents. The mere thought of them causes a sense of loss to resurface in me. That's not going to be a fun subject for a while. I'm objectively in a better spot now than yesterday, however. As we rushed back to the apartment to figure out what to do next, I felt so detached from the world around me. But it wasn't like I blacked out in the park and was dreaming about Fang. I couldn't feel the world around me. It just felt so non-existent. I knew I was there, but I felt disconnected, like a specter of the events unfolding. It was so sad and empty, but I fear I could have completely fallen apart if it weren't for Stella. As Rosa drove us to Skin Row, Stella had neglected her usual spot as Rosa's co-pilot. She sat in the back seat with me, holding me tightly as she whispered gently in my ear, "It'll be okay. I'm not going anywhere. I love you, Anon. We're gonna figure this out, okay?" If I weren't paralyzed with despair, her words would bring tears to my eyes. No one cared for me before like that, not since. My brain drifts away as I stare blankly in the mirror, observing the ragged and weary human looking in my direction, almost as if there's nothing left there. I needed to get back to unpacking. I resumed the desperately boring task of unpacking whatever I could and shoving into the garbage bag at the last minute before that old Slavic fuck evicted me. Thankfully I was able to get most of the good stuff. Laptop, Xbox, video games, some sets of clothes, pretty much all the essentials. I had to leave behind a few things like furniture, the TV and monitor, and all my food and drinks. The latter of which is the least of my worries, however. A few minutes passed and I trudged through the contents of my bag like a miner digging for gold, only to find shit. Good old reverse Midas touch. I ended up placing most items either in my dresser or inside my dresser. However, as I'm digging through the bag, there's one particular item that stops me dead in my tracks. The phone Roomba I bought in Little Trudon on my first date with Fang. The orange-colored automaton, battery pack attached to the top with an anger expression painted on its fast contrasted with its diminutive size. Rainbow. Hey, little buddy. I stare at the automaton with mixed feelings. Happy I could bring my first real pet with me to a new place. Looks like Jiddly better watch out, but the level of sadness lurks behind that, since the little Roomba is one of the few things I have left to Fang. Oh, Jesus, fuck! Hey, Nan, would I be able to come in? Stella's voice gently calls after a barrage of knocks collides against the bedroom door. Why do I have to be such a jumpy spurg? It's just Stella. Yeah, of course. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. I cut myself off as I'm reminded of the small cardboard package resting against the wooden dresser, which I definitely do not want Stella to see out in the open. Why the fuck did her dad have to give me condoms? Now, my boy, you two are adults, and I can't stop you from doing anything, but I only ask that you do it safely. Monty's caution, hear your words echo in my head as my face begins to contort with cringe. I mean, yeah, obviously. But I want to talk about that with her father of all people. Anon? Sorry, just a sec. A slight panic grips my voice as I quickly walk over to the cabinet and place the small box of lust in my pockets. Crisis averted. Walking over to the door, I open the door to be greeted by the rather concerned yet shy-looking Stella, dressed in typical bedroom attire consisting of a baggy pink t-shirt and black short and socks. The hue of her hair seems slightly darker than usual as it gleams in the light of my room. I guess she just got out of the shower. Actually, I had a bubble bath. Oh, for raptor Jesus, I gotta stop doing that. Sorry. I rub my neck with embarrassment while looking away. My edict elicits a giggle from her lips. It's okay, baby, don't worry about it. Wait, what did she just call me? Baby, huh? A smile forms across her face. Yeah, it's one of the cute names that couples call each other, right? Her smile fades into confusion as she tilts her head. I always found pet names like that corny as hell, but to actually be called that, it's nice. Baby. I nod in agreement to the growing happiness to Stella. I like it. Ah, great, I'm happy to hear that, baby. Oh no, what have I done? So how goes unpacking? She looks over her shoulder to see the garbage bag contain all my possessions. Did you need any help? My eyes follow where her eyes are pointed. Crap. Nah, I should be good. Not a whole lot left anyway. But thank you, though. I nearly tripped over my own words as I answer. I don't want to have her to explain Rainbow to her, not with its connection to Fang. Stella takes a seat at the foot of my bed and looks at me expectantly as if she's wordlessly asking me to sit down. I comply as I turn away from the garbage bag, suddenly moving away part of the bag with my foot so she doesn't see Rainbow. Is everything okay? Is everything okay? I ask her as I sit next to her, gently taking hold of her hand as I sit down. The Stego's blue eyes wide in response. Oh, don't worry, Anon, I'm okay. Her hand squeezes as I begin to feel her tail make its way around my pack. The plates slightly jabbing me in the process. The feeling caused me to wince a little as the apologetic look on Stella's face and the quite serious and a quiet sob escapes from her lips. I actually just wanted to ask you if you were okay. Am I okay? Things have improved a lot, in a sense, lately in such a short period of time. Reuniting with old friends, falling in love with one of them, and not to mention my leg finally seemed to uncripple itself. However, all the blessings I've received don't completely dull the pain I've been hit with. I'm still homeless. Dead to my parents. Seeing ghosts non-stop. I almost got murdered twice in the past month, and no, I'm not really doing okay right now. I look as my eyes look down the bed. As my eyes look down the bed, Stella begins to softly stroke my hand with her fingers. She deserves to know the truth. I've been hiding it from others for such a long time. I've been hiding from others long enough. Not anymore. Everything that's been happening lately, it's been too much for me. I lift my head to the defeated expression on my face, affecting Stella. For a while now, I thought I deserved to pay for what I caused. But I'm not sure I can handle this shit any longer. Stella's face begins to light up with worry as the grip around my hand tightens. Anon, please, don't tell me you're thinking of, Her question causes me as to widen as I move my free hand to join her. No, Stella, I'd never kill myself. I could never do that to you or Rosa. The frightened look on her eyes fades, however the sad expression remains. Anon. Besides, for a while I thought I deserved to die for what I did and how I treat others. The only reason I didn't make that happen is that I was too much of a pussy to make it happen. My chest begins to feel heavy under the weight of my own words, but I lived that day. Did you know that Fang unplugged my alarm before I woke up that day? A mixture of curiosity and leftover worry gripped Stella. She was in your apartment the night before? How should I go about this? I'm a little afraid of going into detail of what Fang and I did before. Yeah. She was pretty distraught over what happened at prom. So much so that she refused to go home. So she stepped mine at the place the night before, but the morning when it all happened, she unplugged my alarm. She wanted me to live. A conflicted look appears across her face, relieved that her boyfriend survived the shooting, but uncertain how to feel that her attempted murder was the one who spared him. Even when I was shot, she shot me in the leg, and yet I lived. When Trish attacked me, I survived both those times too. It feels like a sign. Stella's expression begins to calm as I finish my sentence, and grasping her attention as I mention the possibility of fate being while I'm still alive. A sign, you say? Yeah, I think so. I shrug, as a slight smile appears on my face. Maybe it's the universe's way of telling me it's not my time to go just yet. I can still make a difference to turn things around. Yeah, I think so. Suddenly, the Stego's face lights up as if she's just discovered the cure for cancer. I just realized something. You remember the cards you drew right? From that tarot reading? What does that have to do with anything? I think so. It was strength, lovers, and death. I asked with confusion before getting cut off by Stella's enthusiastic voice. Exactly! It was strength, lovers, and death! All of them upright, too! Her lips curl upwards, emphasizing her wicked glee. You remembered! I'm honestly surprised I did, considering what else happened in the following days completely overshadowed that, but... Nice! Good shit, Anon! So do you reckon there's a correlation between the cards you drew and everything that's happened lately? I rubbed my chin as the gears of my head began to grind. I think so. Stella lets go of my hand and raises herself off the bed, and she begins to face in front of the bed, focused on her deduction like a hamster in a wheel. She mumbles as she fervently tries to decipher the correlation between what's happened and with us thus far in the cards she drew. For a while, I thought the astrology was just for born schizo girls on Skronker. Still, I find myself compelled to learn more as Stella continues to educate me on its joys. I think I got it! Exclaims the Stego as she stops in place, pointing her finger at the invisible light bulb that shines over her head. With upright strength, lovers, and death, it could symbolize a new beginning for us. I've been able to find strength and scrutiny and security in each other, and together we can overcome the storm and begin anew. Stella sat back in the bed as her excitement faded into a sweet smile. Her infectious hope eliminates any fear and doubt I have in the moment as I have in this moment about my life, my parents, or any of that. That was beautifully said, Stella. I smiled back at her. I think you might be onto something, baby. The Stego sweetly smiles as she pulls me into a warm hug, resting her chin on my shoulder. Do you remember what I told you the night before we did that tarot reading? She whispers in my ear. Even the stars point towards a grim fate. I whisper back, echoing the words of encouragement that she gave me a week ago. You're not alone anymore. We'll face together. Together. Stella lifts her head from my shoulders to make contact with the azure blue irises, the color of her eyes matching the moonlight shining upon clear waters in the ocean, fitting for her namesake. You've shown me that, in a time where I lost all hope and was filled with constant fear and despair, despite her sweet smile, a slight tear begins to roll down my cheek, that there's always hope to be found, that I'm never truly alone. Her complete vulnerability and emotion causes a sensation to ravage my body, making me feel as light as a feather. My heart is overflowing with love and desire. I love you, Stella, I really do. I love you too. Out of all the stars in the sky, you're the one that shines brightest in my eyes. I love this girl so much. Without another second, our lips meet in perfect harmony, filling me with a sense of purpose, security, and love. She gave me a second chance, a reason for living. Our kiss begins soft and tender before the rhythm grows gradually more intense, our lips locking with each other more aggressively as our arms wrap around in a heated embrace. That is until Stego takes the next step, as the Stego suddenly pulls away, gently pushes me on the bed, lays me on the back. What the hell? I'm stunned with surprise as Stella has me pinned down on her bed, adjusting herself as she straddles my waist. However, the vulnerable look in her eyes remains, contrasting her aggressive body language. As she lowers her head into mine, inches to my face. Anon, I want you. Her words hit me like a barrage of conflicted emotions. The image of Fang visiting me the night before she died flashed in my mind, filling me with a sense of grief and pain. However, it fails to drown out the other end of the spectrum, the love I had for Stella, the desire I have to keep her safe and see her happy, as well as the primal feeling of lust and passion swelling inside me. I can't live in the past forever. I want you too. I confess, revealing that the latter half of my emotions turned out to be a strong one. I guess it's a good thing that her dad gave me that pack after all. I rise my head to meet her lips as we lose ourselves in desire. I love you, Stella. Damn, that's heavy. Hello, bro. Alright, back to it. About 2 weeks have passed since the Baudelaires took me into their home, saved me from the rot in the streets to fend for myself. I realize I could have made myself a helpless little kid incapable of wiping his own ass after I say that, but with everything that's happened to me, that could have happened to me, I'll never be able to repay their kindness towards me. It's far more than I deserve. However, Stella sees me as something precious in me, leading me to realize that the warmth inside of me hasn't been frozen by the cold heart I thought I had. Apparently Monty did too. That comment I made about my minor experience in audio design stayed in his mind, so he made me an offer. If you'd be willing to work as my assistant, helping me as a second pair of ears as well as helping me manage equipment and projects, I will allow you to stay here with us for as long as you need to. Monty's more than generous offer appears in my mind, and I'd even be willing to teach you some tricks in audio design if you want. The following days spent with him usually involved working on projects he's taken for various clients. Lately, we've been working on a lot of indie filmmakers with audio editing for some short films happening in Volcadera Film Festival next year in January. I've learned a lot of really cool tricks from him since starting, like making audio feel more grounded in the film's reality, as well as learning how specific sound effects are made and by here and there how commercials get their audio mixing just right. It's a lot more complex than I would have thought. I've also been taking some calls here from his clients periodically. One of them I'm expecting sometime today. I'm fortunate enough to have a working phone plan since the government's still letting me leech off them since they don't view Mr. Baudelaire's house as a permanent residence for me. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they're French, but it's pretty shitty that their house doesn't qualify as a real residence because of that. And on what the fuck are you talking about? Stop talking like a Redditor. Never mind. Plus, I've been able to help out here and there too, whether it's keeping the house tight or taking Ghibli for walks during the day. when her parents are just working and whatnot. Angel keeps on telling me how much of a godsend I've been, what I've been able to do, although I haven't really been done much to begin with. It's the very least I can do for him, letting me stay with him. I feel like I'm in a fever dream at times. Not only is he allowing me to stay with him, but also practically gave me a free internship. That is definitely not the type of response I expected from the man whose daughter I'm dating and slept with. I slept with her. I've done the deed. Laid down the pipe. Did the devil's dance. God, I'm making this sound more silly than I actually feel about it. Part of me is happy I finally reached that point with Stella. I love her and want her to be as happy as I can. And want to make her as happy as I can. That night with her, I've never felt more vulnerable than I was with her in that moment. Being able to share that night was beautiful. On the other hand, I feel very conflicted. Conflicted that no matter how hard I move on, I haven't been able to get the image of Fang out of my head. I'm haunted by the memory of her final visit to my apartment, the action of a girl who didn't want me to die a virgin. And I felt ashamed of what was popping in my head while with Stella. I didn't tell her. I have no intention of it. But it feels really unfair to her. She's doing her best, and she deserves better than to give herself some bald weirdo who's haunted by dead people, one of them being his ex-girlfriend. It's all so fucked. But yeah, I guess there's only so much I can do. I feel my fingers grow more tired as I begin to write down the last letters of the white line sheet of paper before me. As the ink sinks in, I let the pen fall from my fingers and onto the notebook as relief. A couple days after coming here, I began to keep a journal and write down my experiences or whatever I'm feeling in the moment. I found a cheap one at the dollar store, but it does the job. I remember hearing some Lithuanian wine tasting message board that having a journal like this helps, and I'm honestly surprised that it does. Anon, she's here! The muffled voice of Stella that followed Ghibli's barrage of barking indicates the arrival of an unexpected guest. Wait, who's the... Oh! Fuck, I forgot Rose was coming over! Coming! I call as I waddle towards the door, the crack in my voice making it sound like I'm hitting puberty a second time. Opening the door, I'm greeted with a sigh of a court as the Baudelaire household. I'm still getting used to the concept of bedrooms on the ground floor. I've only ever stepped in rooms several stories high before. The house's front entrance is where the bubbly Stego girl and Happy Samwood are waiting with anticipation. Big smile blossoming out across their faces. Row, 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 row! Ghibli's voice vocalizing my presence. That might be dog speak for, wow, it took you long enough. Kept you waiting, huh? I quip as I carefully walk towards the entrance, chuckling over a clever reference. It's all good, no worries. Stella flashed a brief smile before turning to face me at the front entrance. She's wearing that classic outfit consisting of a white shirt and colored short sleeves and paired with blue short shorts. I've noticed she's been wearing that a lot more frequently again. She moves in the front door, possibly to avoid having Ghibli get too excited and make a run for it. A second later, her hand moves and goes to open the door, revealing the joyful Ankylosaurus girl waiting patiently behind the door, also wearing the same outfit I saw her in back in high school. Is there something going on I don't know about? Rosa, thank you for coming. It's great to see you. Same to you, Armana. Thank you for having me. The two friends greet each other with a warm hug as they stand in the doorway, and Ghibli panting, eager to be part of the affection. Nan Kyler takes notice of her as she lets go of Stella to stroke the walking ball of white fluff. Rosa chuckles as the dog begins to tell her about the day. Hey, Rosa, how you been? I smile as I make my presence known to her. Hola, Nan. It's great to see you again. Rosa lifts herself to greet me at eye level. Smiling, she opens her arms for a hug. I have been doing me bien. I have just been getting everything ready for Volcano High's botanical showcase. It's been a hot minute since we last hung out with Rosa. Apparently the new principal has her in charge of some kind of event that's happening at the Volcano High Gardens campus garden. Although I thought Spears was a hard ass about the school's beautification. Awesome. Did you want to come over to the living room? Oh. Awesome. You want to come over in the living room? We got snacks and I can bring you a drink if you want. Still chimes in with a bubbly smile. Her positivity having an infectious influence on both Rose and I. That would be very nice. Gracias, chica. As Hell left us to make our way to the kitchen, Rose and I make our way to the living room with Ghibli tailing behind us. More like from behind like a shark eagerly waiting for its next catch. Wow. You already outdid yourself for setting up decorations for Navidad this year. The house's Christmas decorations impressed Rosa as she glanced around the living room. Snowmen, nutcrackers, and snowflake statues scattered across the shelves like sentries guarding over the domicile, as well as the strips of glowing colored Christmas lights spread across the room that would put most dreamer setups to shame. Plus, there's a sign over one of the statues that says Joyeux Noël, which I assume is French for Merry Christmas, or something to do with omelets or fromages. And of course, what house wouldn't be complete without a Christmas tree? A large green shrub laid adjacent to the fireplace, decorated in beautiful ornaments ranging from snowflakes, angels, or various souvenirs of Baudelaire's have collected from their travels. It doesn't surprise me one bit to see the Eiffel Tower pieces in there. I was never really too big on Christmas growing up, probably since my family was never too big on it either. But it really warmed my heart to see the love and effort Shell and her family put into celebrating the holiday, and how it's brought them together. Maybe my heart grew a couple sizes since then. As her eyes break away from the decoration, Rosa sits down on the couch next to the table containing this array of sweets, the tray containing a set of plates and enough cookies and chocolates to send us into a diabetic shock. My mouth salivates at the sight. My eyes break away to hear a whine coming from the fluffy Samway, singing impatiently and staring at the tray longingly. I'm pretty sure dogs aren't supposed to have chocolate. No! Ghibli, stay! Affirmation causing Ghibli to begrudgingly complied as she walked away from the table and laid down by the Christmas tree, placing her head between her paws and the saddest looking eyes imaginable. I can practically hear my heart melt at the sight of it. Maybe this one cookie won't hurt her. Here we are! Here we are! My thoughts are cut short as Stella comes back into the room, carefully carrying a tray of 3 drinks. And among them 2 glasses of water, I can spot a small white mug with steam radiating to the top. Oh my God, Stella, I love you so much. Stella lets out a giggle as she sets the tray down next to the stacks on the table. I love you too, Anan. Now sit down and enjoy, baby. Baby, honestly, I can't complain. She brings me God-tier coffee from her fancy Keurig machine. She can call me whatever she likes. We all sit down and get shuffled and get settled in the safe in a place and grab a plate. Stella and I sit together on the couch on Rose's left, all of us eager to dig into the sugary goodness. The 3 of us make small talk as we make our selection, range from our mornings and comments about how the sweets on the table, especially towards the cookies. When Angel comes home, I'm going to give her the biggest hug possibly, although considering how tall she is, I don't want to actually get a face full of. Yeah, let's maybe not think like complete Coomer over your GS mom. So Rosa, how's the school garden coming along for the event? Stella's question for Rosa helps prevent me from continuing the perverted line of thought. Oh, it is coming along well. Thank you for asking, Stella. The Ankylosaurus sports a confident smile towards Stella. However, the tired look in her eyes hinted exhaustion. Although I must confess that all the last-minute preparations have made me a little bit stressful. Rose lets out a tired sigh, her shoulders drooping at the reminder of the test she's been given. Merda, I still do not know if I'm able to get everything done by the new year. Or if I can give the whole presentation in front of all those people. I can definitely get where she's coming from. Right. Rose lets out a tired sigh, her shoulders drooping by the reminder of the test she's taking on. Man, I don't know if I'm still able to get everything done by New Year, or if I give a whole presentation for those people. I can definitely understand where she's coming from. Stage fright is a massive bitch, especially when you're already dealing with an enormous amount of pressure from the school's faculty. Don't be nervous. I know it's scary, but I think you can do it. Stella sets her plate down before taking hold of her friend's hand. You've been working so hard in the garden since the beginning of the school year, I can't but think of a better person to present it than Rosa Castillo. As the statement comforts her friends and offers assurance, a smile begins to break through the doubtful look on her face, her lips curling upwards ever so slightly. Stella's love for her friend causes me to smile too. Gracious Stella. Gracious. Gracias, Stella. Lo siento. Rosa raises her head towards us, the uncertainty of presence in her life. I'm just a bit nervous about it, I suppose. Okay, and on time to make yourself useful and stop sitting around doing nothing while your friends talk about their fears. I'll lean in forward so I can adequately face Rosa. Is there anything particular you're nervous about? Really, Anon, you could do better than that. Raptor Jesus help us. How long has this thing been going? A while. Two and a half hours. We're making good time. Rose's eyes meet me, her face uncharacteristically showing a lack of confidence as she sighs once more. Billions must sigh, after all. See, Principal Roberts has been very insistent about the event goes exactly as she planned, and there's something else too. What's that? I inquire, giving her a slightly confused look. Stella's lack of change to her facial expression tells me she already knows the reason why. Still closes her eyes, steeling herself for the response. I'm doing Volcano Hayes Botanical Showcase as a memorial to those who have lost. I can feel my demeanor grow heavier as the words left her mouth. Her Stego friend gives her hand as an encourage to squeeze and soothe her forlorn demeanor. I want to honor everyone, not just to that day such as Nasser and Lamy, but everyone I have lost that are very close to me. I know exactly who she's talking about. Sage, a good friend of both her and Stella. She seemed like a pretty cool person from the way both of them speak about her. I wish I could meet her. And of course her father, the man who introduced Rose to the Love Garden. Handed her a torch as she continues his legacy. Both of them lost and left this world too soon. They all deserve better. I think they'd be very proud of you, Rosa. And then Kylo's heavy breathing falls silent to better hear my words. Stella turns her gaze towards me as she smiled greatly. Do you really think so, Non? I'm sure of it. I need to take a potty break. I will be back. Entertain yourselves. And we're back. Sorry. Body heat. Me. I'll lift myself off the couch so I can sit beside Rosa. The process is being rather awkward thanks to my legs still not being fully healed. I don't want to knock coffee all over the snacks. And we're back. That would be a waste of good coffee and sweets. You are one of the most kind, thoughtful, and hard-working people I know. I take a seat next to Rosa. Stella and I are practically cornering now. Plus, I've never known anybody who grows flowers as beautifully as you can. If there's anyone who's going to kick ass at this thing, it's going to be you. Rosa remains silent, however, a tender smile appears across her lips as my words seem to reach her. You're an insanely talented gardener, and not only that, I reached for her right hand, taking hold of it gently. You're an even better friend, sister, and daughter, too. A few minutes pass as I begin to hear sniffles coming from Rosa. However, there's no sadness in those crimson eyes of hers, only gratitude, admiration, and happiness. I quickly glance over at Stella, who's smiled lovingly at the sight of her consoled friend, which causes a wave of relief to wash over me because I was worried about how she would react to her boyfriend holding another girl's hand. Thank you both. Stella lifts herself off her seat and moves towards Rosa. Of course, Rosa, that's what friends are for. The Stego wraps her arms around Rosa as she continues to hold back tears. I take this opportunity to join them as we embrace each other, one big group hug. Gracias. This means more to me than you. Ring, 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 ring. Fuck. I forgot I was waiting on Cacao. The two of us break away from each other's grasp. The confused look on both their faces contrasts my embarrassment. Sorry, your dad told me to keep an eye on our call for one of his clients. I just gotta take this real quick. Oh, no worries. No worries at all, baby. Go straight ahead. Stella nods with a reassuring smile. I lift myself off the couch once more as I leave the room and go into the hallway to take this call as the phone continues to ring. Ghibli starts to follow me in earnest in pursuit to see where I'm going or if I'm going to have food. Not wasting any more time, I press the green button on the phone, not even paying attention to the caller ID. Hey there, sorry about that. How can I help you? You're one of Mr. Baudelaire's plants, right? My question hangs awkwardly in the air as I'm met with the sound of a faint background noise. Hello? I ask again. I'm coming for you, Skinny. That voice, what the fuck? A wave of fear washes over my body as I'm caught off guard by the venomous voice on the other line. Taking a glance at the entrance to the living, I walk down the corridor and gets to privacy, each step difficult as my legs are frozen with fear. Trish, how the fuck did you get my number? I spoke with her quietly as I entered my room and closed the door behind me, separating me from the satin Samoyed who only wished to follow me. My question hangs in the air as I can only hear faint breaths from the phone speaker. I guess I let you out of jail finally. Well, what are you trying to pull here? I'm not afraid to get the cops here if I... You can't stop what's coming. You and your whoever rebound are both gonna get what's coming to you. You bitch, don't you fucking dare. The adrenaline and anger melts away fear inside of me as my grip tightens on my phone, solely focused on protecting Stella at the point where I can feel detached from the world around me. You listen to me, Trish. Your fight is with me and me only. Leave Stella out of this. It takes everything in my power not to yell at Trish. Leave her out of this? Why should I? Trish spitefully scoffs at my assertion. You hurt the only person in this fucked up world I truly loved. Shouldn't I do the same? I close my eyes and take a deep breath, trying to gain composure as I steel myself to the following words. You're right. No shit, I'm right. You only just now realize that? I did hurt Fang. You're not wrong about that at all. There isn't a day that goes by where I don't regret what I did to her. Fang deserved far better than the world gave her. If I had a chance to take it all back and be a better man and offer Fang the support that she needed at that time, I wouldn't have heartbeat. My fingers loosened slightly around the handset as my choice of words elicited a conflicted grunt from Latricia's voice. Angered that I referred to Fang in female pronouns or how I didn't sound like a monster she was expected to hear over the phone, but the side tells me that my words strike a chord with her as she's starting to think. Maybe he's right. I'm doing everything I can to atone for what I did and never let what happened to Fang happen to anyone else. My fingers tighten around the cell phone once more as determination turns to my voice. But you don't pretend for 1 second all the blame is on me. If you're going to start pointing fingers over who fucked up Fang's life, maybe you should take a good hard look in the mirror. I'm expecting Trish to respond with rage over the accusation that she would have had the audacity to hurt somebody she loved so dearly. Still, my words only met with a defeated sigh. I won't deny how much you love Fang or how you thought you were doing, or how you thought you were helping when she needed it most. I can't imagine you had any bad intentions, I tell her calmly as I take a seat in my bed. But if you really thought about setting her against the world, making her think everybody in her life was an enemy, then you're fucking mistaken. Fuck you! My eyes widen in surprise at the sudden change in emotions in Trish's voice. Her once wrathful voice turns to sorrow. I need to tone down my approach. Trish, I'm sorry for everything. I know how much you love Fang, but coming after Stella and I won't bring her back. A couple of seconds pass, feeling like an eternity as she begins to wrap her head around my words until she lets out a sniffle. I know, her voice shakes slightly, but I don't care. I'll kill you if it's the last thing I do, you fucking ape. Beep. I lower my phone from my ear, blanking and staring at the Saturnia-themed wallpaper on my phone's lock screen with as a sense of terror begins to grow inside me, and reality hits me like a truck. Trish is back. Trish is back, and she knows my number. What the fuck else does she know? Did Mo sell me out? My eyes fall to the ground, and chills run through my spine as a million thoughts race through my head, and I figure out how to do this. Should I tell Stella? She's already worried about me enough as it is. No, I don't. She doesn't know that Trish just essentially told me she's coming for both of us. God, Anon, stop being such a selfish piece of shit. Of course she does. She deserves that much. I could also call the police. Although how the hell did she get out so quickly, considering they arrested her for charge of multiple instances of attempted murder? The air begins to thin as I try to scramble for a solution, and I answer for this fucked up messy situation. Just then, I thought my thoughts were getting better. What the fuck am I gonna do? Kept you waiting, huh? Dog, this is so fucking good. This is so peak. This is so peak. And I feel good so far. I want to read the 10th chapter. But it's time for an intermission. Howdy. Yeah, no, I'm not feeling it for some reason right now. I definitely will after this chapter, but I'm fucking still doing great. Yeah. Yep. Enjoy America. Yep, peace. Alright, well, let me take a break and draw some geese. What should I do with my geese? What should I do with my fucking geese? Oh, I know. I know what I can do. Yeah. Little skibby goose. Look at that. Ski dobby dee. Lean goose. And what other things can I do with geese? Maybe it's time for... Do I dare get this close to the sun with the fucking thing we're doing right now? Do I dare make a Stegosaurus goose? Let me grab this thing. Sorry, I'm making these so cheaply, but you know. Stegosaurus. There we go. Look at that. Look at that wonderful creature. Now time to make just a regular one real quick. Just to... There we go. Damn. It would appear nobody wants to join me for this yap session, but that's fine. I've made some good geese. Now I will get back to the reading. Chapter the 10th. Last chapter for the night. Nothing but my hate. 6 months ago, June 11th, 2020. I look up the gray skies, clouds shrouding the sun as the fog is covering the town of ominous aura. Yet despite its dark and dreary vibes, it feels almost peaceful. Till my eyes meet the ground, I'm reminded of the pure chaos around me. The wave of emotions hitting me like a truck as I recall the events that unfolded before my eyes. A typical day of school, just like any other, trying to get through the week after those assholes laughed at our performance at prom. Those bastards don't understand. They never did. However, a couple minutes into class, I realized that something was very wrong when I got a text from Fang. Control over my life you denied. Now death approaches from the sky. Why'd it be me you had to vilify? Goodbye, Volcano High. They sent it to Reed, too. And both of us were trying to figure out what to make of it. He brushed it off as Fang suggested lyrics for a new song, but I knew something was up. Especially since I haven't seen them in 2 days, or the last time I did see them was when they went to the auditorium alone with that skinny. Before I could get able to give it more thought, our class was interrupted from a message from the school speaker. Code Red, there is an active shooter in the building. All staff and students please leave through the nearest exit point. If evacuation is not possible, please barricade yourself in the nearest classroom. The first sentence set the whole class into a frenzy. I could only sit there paralyzed with fear as the students began running out of the room, screaming in terror. The life or death situation completely sobering Reed as he tried to snap me out of my stupor. But as the students started to flee the class, everything was a blur. Rushing into the hallways, the students started to scream for their lives, their cries followed by muffled sounds of gunshots. The sirens blare outside began to join the choir as the police and ambulance vehicles began to arrive at the school. What the fuck is going on? When we went outside, the police officer arrived and began assessing the scene while the present faculty tried to gather their students, herding us all like petrified sheep. Among the crying and murmurs, there was the 2 sentences I heard that made my heart sink. It was that tarot shit that played at prom. She fucking killed the class president. I heard she shot her brother, too. Why the fuck is this happening? This has gotta be a dream. Feng would never do anything like this. They're not that type of person. These people have to fucking be mistaken for someone else. Despair grips my heart as I struggle to navigate the hordes of students huddled together on the school's campus, murmuring against themselves. Oh my god! She shot him! He's... And then that ape had the fucking gall to show up after what he caused. I was right the whole time about you! I was right about you! You! Fang would never have done something like that if it weren't for him. He made them think this was the only option. I just know it. As the crowd begins to grow more chaotic, I find myself struggling to gather my bearings as I realize I'm separate from my friend. I have to find Reed. Where is he? Stella, where are you? The familiar voice. Oh. Stella, where are you? The familiarity of the voice grabs my attention as I see its source. A short, androgynous, purple-colored rapper dressed in a pair of overalls are darting around the crowd in fear. Stella! The rapper's voice borders on screaming as their glasses begin to fog up and the tears rolling down their face and the humidity of the cloudy air. Is that Sage? Before I can react further, the school's head of gardening wraps her arms around the terror-struck raptor, catching her in surprise. Let me go! The Sage cries out, her voice bordering on screaming as Rosa holds her in place. Stella's still in there! We have to get her out! Sage! Listen to me, chica! Rosa shouts as she turns Sage around and faces her, both of her hands on her shoulder. It is going to be okay. I am sure she is somewhere in the crowd. Let's ask the police if they can help us find her, yeah? The Aunt Kylo's attempts to soothe did nothing to quell Sage's frenzied state. Rosa seems to be taking note as she embraces her friend in a strong hug, while the raptor's face is buried in her arms. A new expression appears across Rosa's face as the tears begin to roll down her eyes, staining her orange face with black as her scanner falls apart. Pure fear. Why am I watching this? I need to find Reed. No, I need to find Fang. There's got to be some massive misunderstanding. Fang would never shoot up the school, even if the whole school turned against them. I scan the crowd, searching for a familiar face. My eyes frantically darting across the hordes of dinos in front of me, only to see a few acquaintances. Where the fuck are they? As I try to navigate, I'm finding it increasingly difficult to breathe, my lungs struggling to draw in air. As the students begin to disperse, I push against the crowd like a fish trying to swim upstream, as if I'm fighting for my legs to take each step. Please, I need to get to Fang. I love them, way more than that fucking ape ever could. Oh my god, look out! Crack! What the hell was that? I quickly shoot up from the crowd, coming to my senses as I hear a rather gruesome noise. Oh my god, everybody stay back! Move away from the body! What body? Officer Michael's doing his dispatch. Target is down, area is secure. No, please no. I push my way through the crowd, earning confused looks from my peers as I violently shove them away. Out of my fucking way! I shriek as I continue to push through. Eventually, the whole outside world becomes more clear as the amount of people in front of me becomes fewer and fewer, and I'm able to spot it. A sight that will never leave my mind, no matter how hard I try. Fang, the strongest person I've ever met. We've always had each other's backs through thick and thin. The most talented musician I've ever met in my life. That was the one I've had the biggest crush on since freshman year. Now laying on their side, facing me, their body completely broken beyond repair. Dark splotches begin to quickly form on their otherwise pale skin. Several bald spots are visible on their wings, their wings utterly mangled from the fall, along with their left leg bending inward in a way that no leg is meant to bend. The sight of which makes me sick to my stomach. Oh my god! Blood continues to flow from the orifices, eyes, mouth, nostrils. Fang must have fallen on her head, as the snow-white hair now is now growing streaks of dark red into it. Raptor Jesus, their brains are exposed too. I'm gonna be sick. I bend over and retch on the ground, my stomach and throat surging with pain as I leave behind a puddle of vomit. This isn't real. This has to be a bad dream. There's no way that this could happen. Not to Fang. Not like this. No matter how hard I try to convince myself otherwise, the truth lies plainly before me. Fang is dead. This can't be real. This can't be fucking real. No, Fang! I attempt to run towards them as before one of the police officers guiding the students away from the body stops me in place. Ma'am, please step back. We need everybody to disperse from. Get the fuck away from me! I yell at the fascist Ankylosaurus pig who tries to keep me away. They were my friend, my everything. I fall to the ground. The hard pavement sends a sharp pain to my knees, but I'm too filled with despair to even react to it. The fury in my face quickly eroding into sorrow as tears begin to burst from my eyes like a flood. I'm sorry, ma'am. The officer's tone turns from authoritative to sympathetic. I can't let you pass the crime scene, but take all the time you need. Me and Fang, we're gonna change the world together. We're gonna finally make it big with our band. Get away from all this pain, all the worry, all the shitty people that plagued us in our lives forever, non-stop. Fuck. I want to look away. Every instinct in my body is telling me not to look at this horrific sight, but my eyes never leave Fang's brutally mangled body as I'm paralyzed. Please, whatever God is out there, please, let this all be a bad dream. Let me wake up in my own bed at home with my family. Please, let me see Fang again when I make it to school. Please! I look towards the sky, searching for an answer as my desperate cries painfully strain my vocal cords. I notice the officer's sorrowful look in his eyes, feeling sympathy for my situation, yet uncertain how to handle it. He goes to move his hand on my shoulder, but hovers with uncertainty. I'm sorry, Before he could finish, a small beep emits from his walkie-talkie. All units be advised. Our officers have been able to locate 2 students in the area. One of them is in critical condition. Clear the school's entrance and make room for the medical personnel ASAP. He's hovering his hand over to retrieve his handset, and he raises it to his mouth. This is Officer Michaels. On my way. Without another word or glance my way, he quickly begins to walk towards the school's entrance. Critical condition? Who could that? No, please don't be Reed. Energy returns to my body as I begin to run towards the school's entrance, moving and shoving past the remaining stragglers as I hear the cries of my peers. The officers trying to maintain order. Hey, watch it! Ma'am, you need to slow down and stay with the rest of your class. Trish! Over here! I ignore the voices directed my way, solely focused on finding who they're wheeling out of school. I can't lose another friend today. Eventually I stop in place and I spot a team of SWAT officers carrying a stretcher containing Anon. Fang's body flashes across my mind as I look at him. It's all his fault. Broken beyond repair. Forced into a corner by the rest of the world. It's all his fucking fault. Rage begins to swell in my body as I begin to charge toward the stretcher in a frenzy. They're dead because of him. He killed Fang. Anon! Before I can take another step, a pair of pink muscular arms wrapped around my torso and violently stop in place. Trish! No, leave him. Reed? I turn towards him to confirm my suspicions as he's remaining in place. He's restraining me in place. The look on his face being uncharacteristically serious and afraid. I should be happy. I should be crying tears of relief that my only friend that left wasn't one being wheeled out of school, but no. Right now, all I see is red. Let me go! He ruined everything! I scream at Reed as he holds me back, his face slightly flinched from my rage. He turned them against everyone! Separated them from their friends and family. My aggression and hatred should be more than enough to deter him, but he flinched, so he should be scared, friend or not. But I can only see sadness in him. Trish. A tear begins to roll down the raptor's cheek as his voice reeks slightly. I'm sorry. Why? Why isn't he pushing me away? So many emotions race to my heart at once. Anger, sadness, confusion, grief, despair. It's all too much. The sensation overwhelms me to the point where my legs turn to jelly, as tears in my eyes return, washing away the searing hot rage. I got you, bro. I got you. Reed catches me, allowing me time to gently lower to the ground. I crumple to the ground as Reed takes hold of me, hugging me tightly as I uncontrollably sob. I love them. I love them. I know. Me too, bro. Me too. It's gonna be okay. Reed murmurs as he's on the verge of tears himself. A couple of minutes pass as Reed and I continue to sit on the ground as we mourn the loss of our best friend. The crowds and students begin to disperse. An ambulance leaves the scene, with taking it on with them. I also do notice a group of SWAT officers carrying a lime green Stegosaurus girl from the building as she screams and protests. However, I'm too overwhelmed to look for long. Reed continues to hold me from his arms behind, and I begin to hear the faint sounds of sniffling as I feel something wet drip on my shoulder. Fang, I'm sorry. I wish I could have helped you. You didn't deserve the hatred. This hatred alone, I wish I could have been the one there for you. I am powerful. We'll get through it. July 3rd, 2020. About 3 weeks have passed since the shooting. Fang and Nazer's funeral happened today. 3 weeks. 3 weeks that I thought I would have been able to mentally prepare myself to finally say goodbye to my best friend and make peace. Giving myself a sense of closure as I look towards for the future. Who am I bullshitting? I don't feel like there's a future anymore without them. I can only spend those weeks mourning Fang. I lay in my bed for hours at a time thinking how I'll never be able to see them again, hear their voice, feel their touch. I haven't felt this shitty since Dad abandoned us. When we arrived, I thought I'd be strong enough to finally be able to say goodbye, but now it's finally happening. I don't know if I can do it. Reed and I finally arrived from the graveyard as the gray clouds loomed over the sky as a heavy downpour of rain descended to the earth, as if it's God's way of weeping for the lives of his children that were tragically cut short, or if there was even a God to begin with. When Reed and I arrived at the tombstones, we noticed a few familiar faces accompanying the priest and assistant. Principal Spears, I haven't seen him since the shooting. He looks like he hasn't slept in days. There wasn't even a graduation ceremony, they just sent the diplomas in the mail. Can't imagine how many students would feel comfortable going back to school after it was shot up. Fang's parents are of course here, as well as Mo, who's like a surrogate uncle to them. Reed and the rest of the crowd gathered in front as they began to converse with amongst each other. Their words ranging from the typical I'm so sorry for your loss to how are you holding up, and perhaps my favorite, they're in a better place now. Their disingenuous words fill me with anger. Anger that's been slowly but surely building up over time. A part of me is angry that their parents waited so long to finally bury their own children. I want to give them both a piece of my mind, to yell at their lazy mom and donut-eating pig of a father, making Fang feel so alone and hated in the time that they needed it the most. But when I finally saw them before my eyes, I saw how empty and broken they truly were. The mother struggled to stay composed before frantically wailing in her husband's arms as he looked at the tombstone, the mixture of disbelief and despair, contrasting the indifferent, uncaring parents I thought them to be. Now I'm angry at myself for being that much of a piece of shit. Even if they didn't help Fang, they were still their child, as was Nazar. I can't begin to imagine how they feel. I stare at the tombstone below, reading the words engraved across the stone. Here lies Lucy, 2001 to 2020. Heaven restores you in light. They buried Fang under their fucking dead name? Everyone treated them like nothing but garbage when they were alive. Is it too much to ask that they show at least a little bit of respect to them before in their death? Your attention, everyone. The sermon is about to start momentarily. All our heads turn towards the priest as he opens up the Bible in his hand as he begins to read whatever verse of scripture is printed across the page, as if any of that was going to make us feel better or bring peace to the dead. It's nothing but a bunch of bullshit written thousands of years ago by people who want us used to it as an excuse to control others. The whole ordeal lasts 20 minutes, but the priest's words, paired with the sound of hard rain hitting the grass, became white noise as I became increasingly overwhelmed by my own emotions. I should be sad right now. I should be crying, screaming for this just to be a nightmare. What I feel right now is anger. I feel so fucking angry at everything. Angry at myself for blaming their parents for Fang's death, instead of that bald monkey that's truly responsible for everything that happened. Angry at spirits for not doing anything about the assholes at our school who constantly laughed at us and treated us like garbage whenever we performed. And I'm so angry at the world. My life has been falling apart bit by bit every day, since that day. Since my father abandoned my family 2 years after Tana was born, deciding that 6 kids were all too much for him and fucked off out of our lives. But since it's just been one thing after another, the bullying, the heartbreak, the drama of it all. All of it. All the pain just building up to this right here. And then anger fades into sadness as reality begins to set as my eyes fixate on the tombstone before my eyes. Fang is dead. Underneath that stone lies their broken and ruined body. They're gone. Forever. And I have to live with that for the rest of my life. Eventually the sermon comes to an end as the priest finishes off the prayer. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive our trespasses, as we forgive them that trespass against us. The adults in the crowd repeated after the priest with soft voices as Reed listened intently. I don't really know how this one goes. Last time I was at a funeral was when I was like 7. The priest's words become paired with weeping as the tarot matriarch falls to the ground as she cries out for her children buried in the earth. No, 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 my sweet little Lucy, my precious Nacer. She reaches to the ground with a shaky voice as her husband joins her, holding her in his massive arms as she grieves. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory. For now and forever, amen. The priest finishes as he's followed by the collective amen from Mo, Reed, and I. Now it's truly over. Fang is truly gone. I begin to feel the air grow thinner as I step away from the group, navigating through the rows of tombstones until I make it to the parking lot. I walk towards an SUV that Reed's parents let us borrow, a silver Toyota RAV4. I need to get away from here. I lean against the car. The metallic exterior leaves a cool, wet feeling on the back of my dress, but it doesn't faze me one bit. Excuse me. I look at the dark, dreary sky, and tiny droplets fall on my face as I try to calm myself right now. I don't think this is something you can just relax from. I can't fucking do it anymore. Hey, how are you holding up? A familiar voice calls out. I turn my head to the left to see Reed sheepishly walking towards me, his suit completely drenched from the rain. Thank Raptor Jesus we brought towels. How do you think, Reed? A slightly apprehensive look appears before Reed's face as he takes a step back. Shit, I didn't mean to sound that aggressive to him. Sorry, it's just I struggle to form the words as the emotion on Reed's face fades from worry to sympathy. Nah, it's all good, bro, I get it. He expresses his understanding as he takes a few steps forward, closing distance between us as he leans against the car beside me, joining me as we blankly stare into the distance, gazing upon rows of cars and grassy hills sitting underneath the rain. This whole time I kept thinking, when is Finn gonna show up? Is she right in the corner? It's they, Reed, not she. My bad. The raptor corrects himself, as his tone generally apologetic rather than the typical nonchalance whenever he makes a mistake. He let out a sigh before reaching into his coat pocket, pulling out a thermos. Reed's signature keepsake. But right here, at a funeral? Is that? Reed, what are you? I struggle to force out that question as he lifts the thermos to a snap and begins to take a long sip of his contents. His eyes close as he embraces the intoxicating release. Reed? After a few seconds, he pulls away, letting out a small gasp for air. Sorry, bro, I just need something to take the edge off. Get rid of all the bad juju, you hear me? But Carfay at a funeral? I guess you handle it however you can. My eyes fall to the ground as the overwhelming feeling inside me becomes harder to bear. I can't believe they're gone. I hold back sniffles as I feel a touch of my hand on my shoulder. I wanted to help them however I could. Let them just know they were safe and that we all cared about them. I didn't want Fang to feel as alone as she did. Or as alone as I did. Sorry. Reed's hand begins to gently pat my shoulders. A quiet, I'm sorry, escapes his lips, trying to console me however he can. I just wish I told them. Tell them what? A slight hint of curiosity emerges from Reed's voice as he lays his hand on my shoulder. I turn my head to face him, trying with every ounce of energy I have to prevent myself from bursting into tears. That I love them, not just as a friend, but more than that. The look on Reed's face starts with confusion as it drastically changes to surprise with his words widen. Oh wait, really? The raptor asks in genuine surprise. I didn't even know you swung that way. I began annoyed at that comment, but not just because I didn't particularly enjoy to explain my sexuality to man, but also because we're at a fucking funeral for a person I had a crush on. But all the grief inside me eclipses my typical feeling as I would normally have in a situation like this. Yeah, I didn't really either until about 9th grade, when I started to develop feelings for Fang. The gears in Reed's head visibly turn as he tries to determine the best response, contrasting his typical Carfay-induced poker face. Why didn't you tell them about it? I was too scared. I choke out as my eyes begin to fall on the ground once more. I was scared they wouldn't feel the same way or that I would ruin our friendship with the band if I did tell them. I didn't even know if Fang liked girls or not. There were so many things that could have gone wrong, but so many things that could have gone right too. I hate myself for being such a pussy about it. And so Reed nods as his hand pats my shoulder. And right when I found the face to finally tell Fang how I felt about them, that worthless skinny comes in out of nowhere and fucking ruined everything. The tone of my voice transformed from heartbroken to angry at the mere mention of it on. Trish, if you'd have stayed in that little shithole town of his, things could have been better. Our band could have made it, and all those people would still be alive today. My voice falls silent as I'm now on the verge of tears. Fang would be alive! As I curse him out, and he feels strangely disconnected from my words as they leave my lips. I feel that the anger is less directed at him and rather at myself. Reed can only just look at me and take pity, his eyes full of sorrow for seeing his friend in pain. It wastes no time and pulls me out on the ground, a strong embrace, and then tears flow from my eyes, the raptor's chest preventing him from joining the droplets on the ground. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My voice muffled by his chest. I deserve to be alone. I'm a terrible, horrible person. You're not a bad person, Trish. It's gonna be okay. Reed softly tries to offer words of comfort and wrap his arms around me, his tail coiling around my back as his feathers brush against my leg. There's no way you could have known that this was gonna happen. You're not alone. Not ever. We still have each other, right? It feels like an eternity has passed since we hold each other in the rain, the two of us grieving our loss of our best friend, who left this earth for far too early. Oh. He's right. In my heart I know he is, but even as I pour my heart out as we hug in the rain, I never felt more alone in my life. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm sorry, I keep stumbling over myself. I'm gonna have to step back to the draw. How much is left in this section? This guy is long. Just count how long it is. It's 31 full mouse scrolls. It's a particularly warm evening out. There's not a cloud in the sky. The temperature is just right. It's not too hot or too cold. And there's no humidity in the air at all. I should be happy to be able to experience such a night. Call up whatever friends I have left and go out drinking by the beach. A picture-perfect way to celebrate graduating high school. But inside of here, I'm stuck at home looking after these feral monsters called my siblings. I find myself sitting miserably on the couch, trying to devote my focus solely on TV screen facing me in an attempt to separate myself from the world around me, ignoring the dolls, Nerf guns, and action figures scattered across the floor as messy paper plates rest on the table. I try to block out the world around me, ignoring the doll. The sound of them yelling and arguing amongst each other. Right now, that shows up playing some douchey reality show with the whiny, privileged dino girls. Wait, didn't one of them marry Kanyesaurus? I don't know how my mom can like this garbage, but honestly, I'll take what I can get. Anything to get away from the gremlins. Chloe, you know you can't eat Wonder Bread. That's too high in carbs. You're gonna get fat. Give me that iPad, Riley. Trish said I would turn 30 minutes after you. Fuck yo, bitch ass trigger. Why don't you try to text them gay ass boys from your school? I don't care, Kim. Sometimes I need to do what's right for me, not you. Not in. Okay, Trevor, I'm counting now. 1, 2, 3. Ah, good luck trying to find me. My attempts to distract myself fail as the rambunctious sounds of my siblings drown out the TV speakers. Their screaming reverberates throughout the house's walls. These little bastards ever shut the fuck up? It's amazing we've lived here all these years and never gotten a noise complaint. I'm on my last nerve with these kids. They've eaten up all and stolen almost all my free time ever since Dad abandoned us for some 25-year-old skinny bitch, leaving my mother to fend for herself and raise 6 kids by herself in the hood. But when I got to high school, I became the designated caretaker while my mom worked until the sun rose. And you guys see my phone? I can hear it ringing, but I don't. Ain't nobody care about that shit, bitch ass trigger. You can ring these. Why does it always have to be me? Why do I always have to pick up the pieces? Thanks to these fuckers, I've flunked so many tests because I can't study. So many jam sessions I had to skip. So many times I had to bail on my friends because of them. Why should I give my life away because my daddy couldn't keep it in his pants for some fucking human slut? Why should I have to give my life away because Daddy couldn't keep it in his pants for some human fucking slut? That day I learned how truly useless and heartless men truly were. Not just Dad, but Spears. Fang's dad. Wouldn't be surprised if Trevor and Riley end up being trash when they grow up. Especially Riley. And of course that monkey that killed Fang. Anon. His sudden appearance with my thoughts, my powerless over all the bad shit that's happened, and deafening noises of my deranged siblings caused me to boil with anger. If my mom would get off her ass and hire a babysitter, then maybe I could have gotten somewhere. Maybe I could have gotten to college. Maybe I could have practiced more with worm drama so that we could become the perfect band. Maybe I would have been able to spend more time with Fang instead of letting Anon fuck with her head. I thought things would be okay again. I was excited when they called me saying they wanted to get the band back together for that shit after that shit with the projector. If I had truly known how bad things really were, the storm of anguish, the storm of thought anguishes me to no end. Maybe I should have. Fuck! I instinctively blurt out. My head snaps towards the sound of whatever is broken on the spot in my sight. The remains of a ceramic vase that once laid on the dining room table. Trevor, what the fuck? I didn't mean to, I swear. These fucking kids. The two of them slowly approached me, taking notice of me quivering with rage, their hands behind their back with a look of extreme remorse on their face. I'm sorry, sis. I didn't mean to break it, I promise. Tana is the first to speak up, her apology bordering on mewling. I can feel myself surging with anger as my teeth begin to grit and finally tremble uncontrollably. Yeah, we promised to complete us. My little brother's apology cut off with a furious slap as he falls to the ground. The rage inside me evaporates with horror as I realize what I've just done. Tana stepped back while shaking in fear. Trevor's face contorts as he bursts into tears, clutching his cheek with one hand while leaning on his elbow with the other. When I am hit with a wave of guilt, I notice my hand hovering above him. I did this. I slapped my little brother. You... The terrified Triceratops looked at me with teary eyes, the words struggling to leave his mouth before he continues wailing in pain. Help! Tana cries out, running towards the hallway. Condor, rally, please help! I should follow Tana and explain the mess to my siblings and try to make things right. I should at least, in the very least, try and help my little brother up. Get him some ice cool cloth and some ice. Tell him how sorry I am for what I did. But my body is imprisoned from shock. I'm completely paralyzed as my feet are emerged from the ground, with my arms chained up, leaving me immobilized. Crying and screaming starts to sound like white noise as I'm overwhelmed with feelings of remorse and hate. What the fuck is wrong with you? What kind of fucking animal hits an 11-year-old kid? You're supposed to look after him and keep him safe. You're his big sister. As I shudder with horror at my own actions, I'm pulled away from my own thoughts by the cacophony of multiple footsteps emerging from the hallway. I see Condor, Riley, and Tally emerging with Tana. The two older siblings stare at me angrily while Tally holds the youngest one close. You hit Trevor? Trish, what the hell? He's half your size. The fuck's wrong with you? You want to be starting fights? You start with me, bitch! The eldest brother yells before approaching me with his fire in his eyes. I'm too frozen and shocked to prepare myself to move out of the way he clenches his fist and winds back. Smack! Ah! I fall to my knees as Riley's fist violently collides with my stomach, filling me with an intense wave of pain as my internal organs feel crushed and threaten to expel dinner from my body. Get the fuck out! Don't ever come back, bitch-ass trigger! Wait, never come back. My eyes leave the ground as I'm met with a sigh of my siblings, standing and still as they simply gaze in my direction. The expression on their faces hurt me worse than Riley's punch ever could. My oldest brother is looking at me from above, staring venomously as he's barely able to contain his rage. Connor leaves Trevor on the ground to try and help him, staring at me with horror as Trevor buries his face in her chest and wails in pain. Tally holds Tana close as they both share a mutual look of betrayal as they stare into my soul, deeply upset over their eldest sister would lash out so violently over them over a simple mistake. Fear, hate, sadness. It fills me with dread to see how much I truly hurt them. Not just Trevor, but all of them. What the hell have I done? I raise from the ground. Tears begin to roll out of my eyes. I'm so fucking sorry. I don't... We don't want to hear it! Connor cuts me off, her voice dripping with vitriol. Get the fuck out of our house now! But... I try to plead, as I am swiftly interrupted by Riley, still shielding me from his siblings. Now! Get the fuck up now, bitch! The dam finally breaks as tears begin to well from my eyes, overwhelmed by the consequences of my own actions. Okay, I'll go. I weakly choke out before turning away from my family as I walk out the door. I grab my phone off the couch and my wallet from the table. If there's anything I need to take with me, it's that. I should go to my room and get some extra crows. Toothbrush, my antidepressants, my base. I can't bring myself to stay in this place any longer than I need. My siblings deserve better than that. My eyes spot the red boots that are resting by the door, standing out from the crowd due to its size. I slip them on my feet, not even bothering to tie them. As I place my right hand on the doorknob, I find myself freezing before I'm able to turn it all away. I don't see it, but I can practically feel their eyes piercing me, waiting for the violent monster of a sister to finally leave them. I'm sorry, everyone. I attempt to call out to them amidst my crying, but I can only muster up enough strength to mutter out what I want to tell them. I love you. With the exception of Trevor's continued wailing and the sound of playing with the TV, my final words are met with complete silence. You all deserve so much better. My hand twists the knob as I open the door in front of me, touching my scales with the feeling of warm summer air. I step out through the door frame and close the door behind me. I don't have the strength to look them in the eye one last time. I give the door handle a tug until I hear the sound of the large mechanical click. I'm finally separated from the inside, away from my sibling's sight. I make it all the way to the street before an intense cacophony of feeling starts to bubble up within me. Freezing in place once again, as the air begins to feel thin and my attempts to keep my tears from growing more intense begin to fail. I fall to my knees and begin to despair. I was supposed to look after them. After Dad left and Mom was working all the time, I was all they had left. Once Warmer Drama finally made it big, I would have been able to fix everything for them. Mom wouldn't have had to work nights just to make sure we had a roof over our head. We don't have to worry about not being able to pay our bills on time. We could afford tutors for Tina and Trevor, even if money to give Tally piano lessons, and we never have wanted for anything. And I fucked up. Because I'm nothing more than a stupid, angry, violent, useless trigger. I fucked everything up. Fuck! I scream. There's no more air left in my lungs. And then my eyes turn towards a silver sedan parked in the middle of the street. All I see is red, completely blinding me with rage. Without a second thought, adrenaline crosses my body, and my hand curls up in a fist, clenching it tightly as I violently shoot towards the car's passenger door. Fuck! My hand explodes with pain. And I know punching a goddamn car is going to hurt like hell, but the inferno inside me burns away any sense of self-preservation. And I continue to give my primal anger and punch the side door. Fuck! You! Piece of shit! Eventually the anger is extinguished, leaving me with a hollow feeling, leaving me with only sadness. But I don't have the energy left to cry. Just feel empty. My eyes fall to the ground. Taking notice of the gash in my right hand, blood beginning to drip from my knuckles, however, doesn't faze me one bit. I'm more surprised that the car's alarm didn't go off. I look up to the vehicle to see a rather large dent in the passenger door with a small amount of blood spread across the car's silver coating. Look at you, fucking pathetic. Trish Freeman, 18-year-old high school graduate, head of a failed band, shitty abusive sister, and even more of a useless friend. Taking out your anger on a car because your actions finally caught up with you. What a fucking joke. I stay there on the pavement for a good minute. My thoughts completely shrouded in fog before I'm able to think more clearly. I rise from the ground and look at my surroundings. I got to find somewhere to stay at least. Being out here for too long after dark wouldn't be the best idea, especially if whoever owns this car sees me after what I just did. However, I begin to think more clearly. A light bulb goes off my head and I know exactly what to call. I reach my hand in my lower pocket and... Fuck! Right, probably not the best idea to use that hand right now. Carefully take my injured hand in my right pocket and instead let's shove my left hand across my waist to pull up my phone. A tight rubber band rests across the middle of the shattered screen, pretty much the only thing keeping my phone in one piece along with some super glue. I open the home screen, pressing down the phone app and tapping the most recent contact. I lift the device to my ear hole and the phone begins to ring. Bring, 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 bring. Hopefully it picks up. I've actually been a little worried about him lately. He seems to have... Yo, Trish, what's up? A dopey, relaxed, masculine voice greets me through the phone speaker, filling me with relief. Reed, today, good to hear from you. I paused as a sense of shame washes over me. I really fucked up. I was wondering if I'd be able to stay at your place for a little bit. Yeah, of course, homie. The raptor warmly throws the word, me, Cassis. Whatever the rest of the saying is, you're always welcome here, amigo. I can't help but let out a small chuckle. He's such a dummy. Thanks, Reed. This really means a lot to me right now. As I can see myself begin to worry less. Are your parents home right now? I just need to know if you want me to unpack, come around the back, or... Oh, about that. My parents kicked me out. They kicked you out? What do you mean? They, I asked, concerned I'm not the only one who's homeless. They, found out about all the car fare and, passed me out in the kitchen. Or found me passed out in the kitchen. Reed's voice falls somber. Guess they were mad that I was... all the fun I was having. Or maybe they're mad about the snacks missing. I don't know. Fuck, this is good. I was worried something was up with him. Seeing all the car fare he was doing and how worse it got after Fang died. I should have seen this coming. Are you staying anywhere right now? Yeah, of course, man. My uncle owns an apartment Little Trulay's let me use. He's almost never in town anyway. The Raptor's confirmation puts me at ease. I'll text you the address. Just let me know when you're here and I'll buzz you in, okay? Perfect, thank you so much. I sigh, overwhelmed with relief. Anytime, buddy. See you soon. Pete. Reed answers with the goofy tone before his voice is cut off with the beep. Guess he pressed the end call button too early. Take a deep breath as the fog in my head begins to clear. Thank God. I'm glad he's okay. At least I think he is. I knock myself out of my stupor and begin to walk along the sidewalk to Little Troodon. Thankfully, it's about a 15-minute walk from here, and once Reed sends me the address, I can find out where to go from there. As I continue to march to my new refuge, I still find myself haunted over what just happened and what I did. I struck my own brother, and they all hate me. Get the fuck out, you don't ever come back here, bitch-ass Trigger! Riley's words echoed my mind, along with the horrified look of my siblings. They have every right to hate me. I hate me too. Why does my life have to be one mess after another? I ask myself as I take a deep breath. Riding in the back of a taxi, trying to take my mind off shit and show that happened today. I mean, is a job really the end of the day? But that is taking everything else to keep myself from getting sick. I don't want the driver to charge me extra for puking all over his seats. When Mo gave me that security detail job in the warehouse a couple days ago, I assumed I would just be outside the building to make sure no one breaks in, or at least make sure the products stay where they're supposed to. I had my suspicions whether his business was or just about pizza. I always did kind of get that feeling from Fang, that there was more to it. I'm also guessing they told Mo about how I chased down and beat down those assholes lapses in January, otherwise he wouldn't have let me in the little secret. Secretive. So I would have thought he would have only had me beat up assholes who fuck with his business, not watching his men force-feed a human an entire bottle of Carfe. I thought it'd be satisfying to watch Skinny get what he deserves, but the twitching, how his blood and foam poured from his mouth like a bottle of soap with a little bit of water in it. That sickening gurgling noise he made. I can't help but feel my stomach churn the more to think about it. I don't know how the hell Reed can even bring himself to use that garbage. So I'll never be able to look at one of his thermoses the same way again. I'm already worried about him as is. He just sits there at home all day and doing God knows what, like guzzles that shit. Every time I come home and see him, it feels more and more like he isn't him anymore. So they fucking with my head, see that. I take a deep breath and try to relax my mind. Easy, Trish. What's done is done. You're not gonna get anywhere worrying about what's wrong with today, or yesterday, or the past couple of weeks. Fuck this. I try to distract myself watching the busy streets of Little Troodon flash by my window. Greeting me alongside a sight of various dinos and skis during their Friday night, walking out of the bars and restaurants, or simply enjoying a stroll down the night-lit streets. I grit my teeth in envy seeing everyone go out there about their lives carefree, not knowing any worry, pain, or any such hardship. I wish that could have been me. I can imagine it now. The band and I went out for a night of fun on the town, sitting outside as we drank, enjoying each other's company, discussing plans for the future, and celebrating the band's success. My marketing skills, Reed's ingenuity, and Fang's natural talent with guitar could have led us to great heights. Fang. The mere mention of them in my thoughts causes my heart to ache. It's been about 3 months since she left us, but there hasn't been a day that's gone by where you aren't in my mind. I begin to feel an emergence of a tear escape my eyes. I remember what's lost. I miss you. Everything's been a fucking disaster since then. My family wants nothing to do with me. They're right to feel that way. It's been a month since I left home. I forgot what happened. A couple days after all that went down, I remember Mom calling me on the phone. She told me that Child Protective Services took the kids away. Apparently they tried to order pizza, and Trevor was the one to answer the door. The delivery driver noticed the bruise on his face and how none of them seemed to have an adult looking after them at all. The fucking bastard called the police and they sent them away. Don't even know if they put them in foster care or just sent them to one of my aunts or uncles without telling anyone, but they're gone. The scream my mother gave over the phone after she told me what happened, I'll never be able to get out of my head. It's your fault! It's all your fucking fault! You think just because you're sad that your little girlfriend shot the school and killed herself, you can just take it out on your little brothers and sisters? Fuck you, worthless ass Trigger! I deserve her hate. I deserve all their hate for the shit I caused it. Alright, over here. The slide driver's face snaps me out of my stupor. I gazed around my surroundings to see the apartment building out the right window. A fairly tall yet well-maintained complex. I'm surprised Reed's uncle was able to have a room in a place like this. Alright, that'll be $22.50. The middle-aged raptor turns to me with a suave smile, which comes across as more annoying than anything, or more creepy than anything. I grab my wallet from my left pocket and pull out a $20 bill and a $5 and hand it to him. Here's $25, keep the change. I barely acknowledge him. I'm just getting out of here as quickly as I can. He closes his lips and his head politely. Hey, thank you kindly. Hope you have a good evening now, miss. I say he says as I open the passenger door in the front of me as I step out of the car. Once my feet touch the ground, they close the door behind me and... Not even a femtosecond later, he's already out of my sight, leaving behind nothing but the scent of burnt rubber. How the fuck is that guy a taxi driver, let alone have a driver's license? And it's not really important right now. I just want to go home and pass the fuck out right now. I walk towards the building, passing through the entrance, being greeted by the sight of rows of mailboxes on the left and elevators on the right. Elevators are constantly under repair. I don't feel like waiting, so I continue to walk down the hallway, but we pass through the door containing a flight of stairs. Thankfully, our apartment is only on the 3rd floor, so it's not too arduous a task to climb. Exiting the stairway, I pass the doors in the corridor and filled with rows and rows of doors, surrounded by yellowish white paint on the walls from the age. I turn right and take a couple steps before finally arriving at my destination. Apartment 3D. Home sweet home. My left hand reaches into my pocket and pulls out the keychain containing a set of keys. One for a locker at Dynamo's and the other for a mailbox. Finally, one for the apartment. I can easily figure out which key is the right one since I've marked them by color. I insert the yellow-colored key and turn it to the right. The mechanical clicking of the lock fills the air as I push the door open, filling with a sense of relief that I'm finally home at last. Reed, you here? I call out as I step through the door and close the doors behind me. Making sure to lock the door above the knob as well as putting the chain locks in. Last thing I want is a fucking break-in. I bend down and take off my boots, using what little strength I have in my exhausted state to pry them off. However, the silence that fills the air as I notice that Reed's shoe seems to be missing from the usual spot causes me to pause for a minute. Is Reed here? Reed! I call out once more, only to be met with no answer. Maybe he's got his headphones on. He has to be here. It's not like he has a job or anything. I decide to keep my boots on, not caring if I get the floors dirty. I need to do some cleaning sometime this week anyway. Make my way through the beige-colored corridor. I take a left into the living room, and what I see causes my heart to stop for a minute. Between the couch and TV center, I find shards of glass shattered on the ground. Remnants of our table lie in front of me. A couple feet from that lies Reed, sitting on the floor against the sliding balcony, completely unconscious. Fuck! No. I quickly close the distance between us, filling the air with a sound of crunching glass, making me glad I didn't take off my boots. I carefully look at the ground next to him to see if there's any broken glass before I kneel down. But as I notice a flask on the ground, lying inches away from his open right hand. Now, please tell me to Noti. Reed, wake up! I kneel on the ground as I grab his shoulder with my hand, shaking, try to wake him. Come on, Reed, get up! What? I jump back a bit, caught off guard by Reed jolting awake after rather suddenly. I jump back slightly, caught off guard by Reed jolting awake rather suddenly. However, the raptor grits his teeth as he clutches his left leg, the palm of his hand, and the red stain on his jeans. Dude, how many Legos did I put in the tub again? What? Is he still high? Reed! I asked him with a mixture of concern and confusion. He turns his head towards me as a dopey grin grows across his face, warmly looking at me warmly with friendly yet bloodshot eyes. Oh, hey, Sage, how's it hanging, man? It's been a hot minute. Not again. How much coffee did you take? Reed, it's me, Trish. Sage killed herself 2 months ago, remember? My voice calms down slightly as I correct the intoxicated raptor on the ground. Ah, my bad. Randy? I guess it says he tilts his head with confusion like a dog, throwing his words in the process. No, Reed, it's Trish. The part of me is slightly annoyed because of my lack of patience for his dumbass antics right now, but another part of me is genuinely scared and worried for my friend here. Ah, crap. He sighs, his arms flail to the side. I'm gonna get you some water, okay? Help freshen you up. I gently pat his back and pick up the flask before rising from the ground. He tries to show his thanks by doing his signature finger guns, only his right to go limp while the gun resembles a poor attempt at flipping someone off. I turn towards the kitchen, carefully stepping to the side to avoid broken glass or tripping on the table frame. Just one thing at a time. So, Reed, what happened over there with the table? Are you okay? My voice calls out to him as I find myself in the kitchen right now, placing the thermos on the countertop while grabbing a plain white coffee mug from the cupboards. I fill a cup with some water and on the coldest setting of the sink before setting it down. Well, you know, I tried to give the old legs a stretch. Maybe try walking to Canada, he explains clumsily yet earnestly. But I guess gravity put me on the house arrest or something like that. Let me guess, he tried to get up from the couch watching TV and tripped on the table. I turned my head to see how he was doing, sitting on the ground, struggling to keep his balance, inches away from broken glass. But despite that, his bleeding internal mental state, he does seem to be in good spirits, so there's that at least. He's high, Trish. Of course he's in a good mood. What the fuck is wrong with you? Still, I'm worried about those cuts in his leg. I pick up the mug and begin to walk over from the kitchen to rejoin my friend. That sucks. Is your leg okay? I saw blood in your pants. Huh? No, it's all good, man. No, it's just a bit of hot sauce. One word caused me to stop in place. One word causes me worry I had for turning Reed melt into such anger. Rage, even. What the fuck did you say? I grit my teeth and I quiver with hate. Water trickling on the wooden floor to join the broken glass as I'm unable to contain my composure. Hot sauce, man. I swear my legs are filled with... My incoherent answer is cut off by the harsh sound of ceramic smashing against the wood as I throw the cup on the ground. Enraged by that my only friend would dare compare me to the monster that killed our best friend. Don't you ever, I raise my finger towards him as my footsteps grow faster, fucking call me by that name again, do you hear me? I grab him by his collar as I force him to the ground. He's looking down at me with a dopey form of confusion rather than fear that his friend might beat the shit out of him. And believe me, right now she might just. Well, I didn't call you any names. Why the fuck would you ever compare me to that bald, skinny loser bigot? I scream as his face, I scream in his face as my voice begins to crack. The same bastard who got our friend killed so he could get in their pants. This one's a long one. Hey, no, I'm not skinny. I hit the gym, you know. Went to 200,468 jumping jacks in one set. I can feel the pigment in my skin turning from purple to red. The more I'm hit in the face with idiocy. Do you think this is a fucking joke right now? Before I continue the lash out, he, recalling me by the name of a person who had my thoughts and life in the apartment in shambles. The expression on Reed's face becomes more noticeable to me, or rather the lack of expression, as if there's nothing left. As I'm holding him by the collar after smashing a mug after he fell down and cut his leg. The dopey expression on his face, his bloodstained eyes, only seemed to be Carfe-induced mask that hides something that was lost long ago. My grim realization overwhelms me as I release the collar from my grip. He falls against the wall but catches himself clumsily, clearly unfazed. Why? I choke out while trying to suppress my sniffling. Why do you use that garbage again and again? You know what that shit will do to you? I cry out in frustration, tears in my eyes as I lose all composure. Why not now? I mean, it's a little pick-me-up is all. It's just like coffee here. No, it's not, you fucking idiot! My emotions get the better of me as I raise my voice. If you keep guzzling coffee like water, you're gonna die! I find myself inches from Reed as I'm panting as I refill my lungs with air. My desperate cries do nothing but to break through the raptor's stone-faced expression. A group of seconds passes, silence grips the air until Reed is the first one to break silence. So, that's all you have to say? Just so? I'm met with complete and utter disbelief as Reed stands before me, swaying around with bloodshot eyes, trying to stand in place. I'm doing everything I can to pull myself together. You lost Fang, you lost your family, you let them all down, you can't lose Reed too. Please, I crumble against the wall. overwhelmed to the point where gravity is working against me. Please stop, I can't bury any more friends, I whisper with a shaky breath as my eyes fall to the ground. I can't. I hear shuffling of clothes and shoes against the wood as I see Reed now sitting on the ground a few inches away from me until he's close to beginning to notice a small trail of liquid beginning to form up from his eyes in a hazy demeanor. But why? I'm so empty without it. Reed. Turning away from Reed, I bury my face in my arms as I begin to cry my heart out. The river of tears is now turning into a flood. I can't do anything right. I can't stop my best friend from taking her own life, or myself for being a colossal fucking cunt to everyone around. Me, Fang, Reed, even my own family. I can't do anything right. It feels like I'm drowning. Everything does. Even that I'm stuck at the bottom of the lake and I can't swim to the surface no matter how hard I try. Reed doesn't deserve any of this, but I do. To drown alone. Yeah, I'm fucking getting tired. Fang, do you have a minute? Hey Trish, what's up? There's been something I've been wanting to tell you for a while now. I promise you won't judge me or anything like that. Okay, it's nothing bad, is it? And then, no, of course, it's just I don't want to mess anything up between us and shit. I'm nervous. Easy, Trish. It's okay, you big dork. I'm not gonna hold it against you unless you plan to tell me that you're secretly a Fed or something like that. No, it's... This is more difficult than I thought it'd be. Relax, I'm just messing with you. Tell me what's on your mind. Okay, I'm just gonna come out and say it, okay? Fang, I like you a lot. Ah, thanks, Trish. I like you too. No, I mean like more than a friend. I want to be with you. I know what you said, dork. I feel the same way. You do? Of course. I mean, how could I not? You were one of the best friends I ever had. When everyone else either given up on me or wrote me off as a lost cause, you were there to pick me up when I was beaten down. Of course, Fang. I didn't want to have to go through that kind of pain alone, not like I did. And that means more to me than you know. And not to mention you're kind, loyal, thoughtful, and pretty cute if I'm completely honest. Fang, you have no idea how much I need to hear that. You don't know how happy that makes me. I was so worried that you wouldn't feel the same, or how you'd think it'd be weird for even having a crush on you. I mean, we're friends, we're both girls. Shh, don't worry so much. Okay, I won't... Now let's see if there's something I can do to ease your nerves. Close your eyes. Okay, what? Why? Just do it. Okay? I can feel them inching close to me as the breath hits my skin, sending tingles down my spine. I'm right here, Trish. I'm not going anywhere. I love you, Fang. I love you too. I await their lips to meet mine, enveloping us in an embrace of bliss and security. But that moment never comes, as I'm instead greeted with the sound of my morning alarm. Ding, 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 ding. Shh. I'm coming. The pitch darkness before me, I'm able to open my eyes. My hand reaches under the blue blankets onto the bedside table. A glass texture touches my fingertips as the obnoxious ringing comes to an end. I pretty much memorized where the damn end alarm button is at this point. Good way to start the morning. Of course my fucking dreams all have to mess with me like that. Open my eyes, blinding me as my eyes readjust to the presence of light as I begin to scan my surroundings and remember, rather than waking up in my own bed in my own apartment. I've woken up in a room that's not my own. I shot up for a brief second, confused for a second, before I realized why I'm here. Taking to the left side of the bed lies a gray-skinned, terrible boy around my age with blue hair. Fast asleep without a care in the world. Right, we fucked last night. I gave this grumble app a try and tried to make it, thinking it might be a good way to meet some people and have some fun. Even better since the men don't get to message first. And I matched with Leon a couple days ago. He's not like the other douchebags. Well, he was hotter than the other guys on the app. We met up last night, we got a bite and went back to his place. And well, it was a fun distraction and everything, but I definitely needed that shit after what's going on lately. But when we spent time together, I could only think of Fang. Maybe that's why I agreed to meet up with him, because all I could think was Fang all the time we spent together. The more I look at him and the more I think about Fang, the more bitter I become. I should probably get out of here. It's not like I have any reason to be here right now. I've got better things to do than watch this fucker sleep all morning. Speaking of which, he's a pretty heavy sleeper if my alarm didn't even wake him up. Before I get up, I gaze around the medium-sized room on blue paint, dressers laid out in front of the room, while the computer setup sits on the right side of the bed. Of course he's a gamer. Explains why he's so good with his Jesus Christ, Trish, calm down. Stepping out of the bed as quickly as I can, I pick up my clothes off the ground, my phone off on the nightstand. I carry them out of the room as quietly as possible. As I stepped in the living room of the apartment, the abundance of light greatly contrasts his dark bedroom. How the fucking late did I sleep? It doesn't matter. I place clothes on the ground. I begin putting them back on. Last thing I need right now is him asking me to stay for breakfast. I step in the living room of the apartment. The abundance of light greatly I managed to get myself dressed pretty quickly. Surprised that his apartment was as empty as it is, but pretty sure he has roommates, but they're probably away or something. I managed to get myself walking out the door and slipping on my boots. I began to open the door as quietly as possible, hyper-fixating on control over my muscles. I tried to gently lean the door levels and pull the door towards me. Come on. There we go. Stepping through the door frame as I enter the hallway, I simply let the door close on its own without trying to stop or make noise. I don't really give a shit if I wake up now that I'm out of them. I began to make my way towards the elevator. I decided to pull my phone out and take a look at this time. It doesn't exactly look like I woke up the crack of dawn. October 25th, 2020, 11:32. You have one missed call from 5 minutes ago. Sighs. My eyes locked in the name that tried to call my phone. Can't you just leave me the fuck alone? It's a Sunday. Shouldn't you be at church or something still? The geese is the reason why Reed and I aren't homeless right now, so I should probably call him back. My legs carry me down the hallway further from Leon's apartment until I'm standing in front of the elevator. I open the call app on my phone and dial Mo's number. Ready to get to the side of my head, I send out a call. Ring, 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 ring. A couple seconds pass as the phone continues to ring, the digitized melody being the only sound present in the deaf hallway. It's almost eerie how quiet it is. Morning, Trish. How you doing? I'm interrupted by Mo's deep, boisterous voice before I'm able to continue my line of thought. Hey, Mo. I saw you tried to call a few minutes ago. Is everything okay? I give a taciturn response to him. That's a sigh. Yeah, but I do have a job for you, but I'm gonna need you to listen closely, yeah? What the hell is being so cryptic for? Okay. You're not gonna have me watch someone for bottle service this time, are you? I just quickly mentioned the grisly events that transpired last month. I don't want to get any trouble because the feds or cops listening in. No, of course not. That never should have happened to begin with. I'm sorry you had to see that. That shit hasn't left my mind that day. That noises he made, the twitching he did. I begged for his life, not want to die the way he did. I would have thought I would have become desensitized to something like that after Fang, but no. It's just another goddamn event to haunt my mind. It's fine. What's the job? I asked, trying to move on from the subject. Okay, so I'm gonna need you to find someone and teach them a lesson for me. The tone in Mo's voice grows a little more serious, however there's a tinge of regret about it. Why the hell would I kill someone? If he knows how I react to watching someone get force-fed Carfe, where the hell does he think, wait a minute, who's you asking me to meet? I reply, my voice becoming more aggressive as I start to get an inkling as to why he doesn't want me to kill them. You remember Lucy's boyfriend, that Anon kid? Gonna have you talk to him. Thousands of emotions hit me like a train all at once, the name being uttered through my speaker, my heart beating like a jackrabbit at the painful reminder of the man who took everything from me, all the pain, suffering he caused. And now I have a chance to give that monster what he deserves. Where is he? I growl, barely able to contain my anger. He's somewhere in the West Loft's apartment over on Skin Row, but for this job you're gonna need to do outside the joint so he can't run nowheres. How do I get him outside? My connections over at this pharmacy in Skin Row told me that Anon frequently goes there to pick up his meds. Has some kind of arrangement with my guys. He calmly explains. Ever-growing anger in me makes it difficult to concentrate on the instructions. You best bet we would want to wait for him to either when he leaves the store or before he enters. Stop by the restaurant sometime soon. I can explain in better detail. I'm on my way. I feel that my free hand clench with fear as I finally have a chance to make Anon pay. And Trish. He adds seriously, his seriousness returning to his voice. No icing, capiche? What? Why the fuck does he want him alive? This is Anon we're talking about. And Fang and Naza are dead because of him. They were like family to him. He should want that fucker in the ground for what he did. I take a deep breath, audible to the point where Mo can probably sense my displeasure. Still, he's given me a chance to take this bastard down. Fine, I'm on my way. I curtly reply. Okay. See you soon, Trish. He replies before cutting the phone off with an audible beep. I put the phone in my pocket and I press the elevator button. The button lighting up with a circular red light as my finger touches it, as my finger leaves it. As I wait for the door to open, I'm left quivering in anger and anticipation. I'll play that old Fossils rules and see what else he needs to talk about before I get after that Skinny. Whether or not I'm actually going to listen to them is another story. Coming for you, Skinny. December 16th, 2020. It's your lucky day, you're getting out. But knowing your kind, you'll probably be seeing you again soon. The officer raises his mic. plays in my head, along with various other thoughts that race from my head like a rat in a maze. They put me in for a month of that crap hole of jail. I just only got out an hour or so ago, as I found myself waiting alone in the elevator of the apartment. So it feels surreal to be on the outside despite only being in there a month. It felt like an eternity crammed in a bunch of junkies, rejects in a small building. Thought I'd be used to the yelling and fighting. Fuck. And I thought Reef City was bad too. I try to distance my mind from the fun memories I made in jail. So many thoughts began to race through my mind right now. Why did I move out that early? Did Reed manage to get back to home safely? Do we even still have a home to begin with, since I was the one paying the bills? And of course, where's that skinny fuck, and why we're still in Rosie covering it for him of all people? They stopped me when I found him fucked up his leg. Rosa had snitched on me at the mall when I had him cornered too. Not to mention how that Stego retard punched me in the face. I didn't think she had it in her. I feel phantom pain arise from my cheek. I said, leave us alone, you fucking trigger cunt! Still, his words make me rise with fury, just thinking about it. Who the fuck are you to call me that? You're nothing but a loser and a spurg. And from the looks of how you're now a human's whore. Ding! The elevator door opens in front of me, greeting me with the side of a complex's hallway. Time to see if I'm homeless or not. I take a step out of the elevator and saw my apartment, about 4 doors down, but each step I took felt heavy, as if my body was trying to tell me something bad was about to happen. I try to ignore it. Well, it's not really like my fucked up mess of a life could get any worse. Finally, I find myself standing in front of apartment 3D. Well, moment of truth. Take out my key from my pocket, insert it in the key slot, give it a good twist, lock, speed, and click it out of place. Looks like my keys still work. Just door open, and I feel a weight lift from my shoulders. Wait, no. What the fuck? Instead of this being greeted by the side of our minimalistic apartment, I'm met with a side of trash littering the living room to the point where I can see where it's coming from. Where I'm standing. I've barely stepped in. Reed, what the fuck is this? I yell out, part of me furious I've now gotta clean up after this pig's mess. Empty chip bags, cookie wrappers, soda, and beer bottles. Jesus. Most of the men back in my neighborhood kept their houses cleaner than this. Reed? What? Oh, hey, Chris, check out our swimming pool. It's got all the flavors of the rainbow. Now that part of me is relieved, knowing that Reed is here. When he came with me to the mall, I just told him that I gotta take care of something, and I left him there, alone and confused. He deserved better. I walk into the living room, the smell of rotting food and stale snacks beginning to increasingly hard to tolerate. I see hordes of trash swarming the floors of our flat like it's Europe during the Black Plague. I can see Reed sitting on the couch, green hoodie and shorts on, turning his head away from the TV. Hey bro, wanna play some Rock Ring with me? The raptor smiles clumsily and his blood's eyes point towards the screen. Reed, we don't even have an Xbox anymore. You sold it for coffee, remember? Secondly, the TV's not even on. I calmly tell him while pointing at our television set. I'm still wondering how the hell he managed to find his way home. Maybe Mo drove him home. Anyways, how are you holding up? I approach Reed, sitting on the couch. This is one of the few places not littered with trash. Well, I've been mixing up with Carfay here and there, trying new formulas, and Dave's raptor stops himself mid-sentence after an realization. You remember Principal Suki from Volcano Reef? Somebody dropped off a box for you, I think. Am I having a stroke? What the fuck is he even trying to say? No, Trish, don't be a cunt to your only friend left. Save your hate for the people in life who deserve it. A box? Where? Over on the diving board. He says he points towards the sealed cardboard box on the dining table. Looks to be in one piece. I suppose he didn't use it to do a cannonball into the garbage. Written flowers. And floors. I get up from the armrest and walk to the table, listening a slurred adios amigo. As I got up, when I got to the table, the first thing I noticed is a small-sized cardboard parcel. But the only thing written on it was Trish, assuming whoever dropped it off did it so personally. I spot a butter knife flying on the table, using it to cut off the tape of the box. Feeling small pieces of metal roll around inside, I lift up the sides and see a white sheet of paper covering the bottom of the box, but the words are as brief, so I don't need to lift it up. You're welcome. I got you out. I've paid your month's rent. I've gotten you this. You've got everything you need. Now finish the job and get rid of that vermin permanently. Do not make me regret doing this, or you'll wish you're still rotting in that jail cell. Ripley. Ripley? Fang's dad? Why the fuck does he want me to do this? Finish the job? Just what the fuck does this thing he's giving me? I reach in the box, lift a piece of paper that and instantly recognize the shape that appears before me. I can feel my heart stop for a moment. What the actual hell? Inside the box lies a well-worn 6-cylinder revolver pistol. the light reflecting upon the brown wooden grip and the 4 bullets that freely rolled in the box. Is this the same fucking gun Fang shot the school with? How the fuck did her dad manage to get it? He probably used his connections as the commissioner swiped from evidence. I assume that's how he got me out. So many emotions run through my head as the blood-stained relic in front of me. Fear, grief, anger, but the strongest one that roams free is the latter. Knowing that Anon is still alive, trying to run away from all the crimes he did, or how that racist Stego retard of the Raptor Jesus-loving fascist are out there still about. And that's why there's 4 bullets. 1 for Anon, 1 for Stella, 1 for Rosa. I'm curious as to what the 4th one is. Maybe it's a backup. Still, he should have just given me all 6 rounds. Can't expect too much from a donut-loving pig like him. Still, I might have an idea on who to use the last bullet. I reach in the box and grip the revolver. I feel the revolver cool my hands as the skin touches the wood and metal design, except I don't lift it up or open the chamber. Now that I don't know how to do any of these things, but all I can do is stand here frozen, gazing at my chest as I finally get justice for Fang. You'll all be able to rest easy now, I promise you, Fang. Anon will die. Ugh. That's enough reading for tonight, fellas. I'm gonna have to put her up. Y'all have a good night, and I hope y'all enjoyed America Day. Have a good rest of the night.